Check something there. Okay. Yeah. All right. What? Do I see a bubble or what? There we go. All right. There we go. All right. All right. All right. Welcome, everyone, to episode 888 of the Black Brain Trust. This is the Sapio-Males Guide to the Galaxy Creative. Um, Sorry, you guys, for pushing it back so many times. Life and duty and all that calls. So, give me one second. Give me one second. First of all, why am I having an issue with the thumbnail? It seems like every time I take a hiatus or some shit, then um, crap starts to crap. You know what I'm saying? Hold on one second. Okay, let me text that to him. All right. Yeah. Yo, Emmanuel, what's going on, man? Welcome. Hold on one second. Let me get pleasantries and all this stuff in order here. Give me a second. Um, so let's do this. First and foremost, let's welcome everyone. Boom. All right. Yeah, we've been on a little hiatus. A lot of stuff, man. Just cat's been busy and shit. So, but uh, this was tabled for a conversation. So, what better night to do it than a Saturday night, right? Me and my baby cakes made a collard green and black eyed pea kind of gumbo sort of situation, a stew. Let's just call it that. So we did something kind of light and easy for dinner. Just knocked that out, cleaned up the kitchen. So yeah, we are here. We are here. Okay, let's see. We got a few cats showing up here. We got Afro SF. What's going on, brother? How you doing, man? Welcome. I noticed your comment on that last live stream or the one before where you were like, "You're a Primus fan?" Yeah, yeah, Les Claypool. Oh, fucking A. Yeah, he's the baddest to play the sixth string. Okay. He's the baddest to play the sixth string, right? He's the one that put funk. Okay. He put funk into rock and metal. I don't want to say he put it into rock. He definitely put it into metal, though. Okay. So shout out Les Claypool. Yeah, Primus is literally like one of my favorite old school rock bands. High school. We got to go back to high school, right? That's when I started listening to Primus. Um, but if you were to ask me today, Afro SF, look up a band. They're out of LA. They're called Vinyl Williams. Look up Vinyl Williams. Okay. Jesus, man, their music is amazing. I'm telling you right now. Vinyl Williams, man, look them up. Shit is amazing. We got Sinku. We got Rael in the house. Hey, what's up, man? Hey, dude, I'm gonna read an article and then I'm gonna drop the link, man. We gotta chop it up on some quotes and shit. We're gonna open it up, maybe get a panel and really kind of dig in on this topic of what it means to be creative, right? Um, I'm listening right now. We are listening to probably one of the most creative musicians that I've encountered, um, Theo Parrish. So it's gonna be a Theo Parrish kind of night. And real quick, I got a question, y'all. Do y'all see the thumbnail? What thumbnail do you guys see? If you it's like a blue black background with a chick with an afro. Let me know. If it's not, that's weird, man. Because it's like you can see it on certain parts, but then it doesn't show. I don't know. It's weird. So if y'all let me know if you see something weird. Bad brain. Oh man, bad brains and fishbone for sure, dude. No chick. Wow. Okay. All right. I'll update the thumbnail then. Okay. Uh, so Danny says yes. He sees an Afro chick. See, this is what I'm talking about, dude. Like, y'all see this? Like, what is it? Me? That's why. Like, is it? Am I tripping or what's going on? Yeah. See, Raul, you say you don't see it. Deani says they see it. Afro chick with gold highlights. Right. He sees it. It's like on certain devices I'll see it, and certain ones I won't. Dude, it's crazy. Yes, the thumbnail. My history is a woman for me. Seeking my creator. Okay. It's like two different. That is weird. All right. All right. I just thought I was tripping, man. I was like, man, is it me? Let me ask y'all before we get started, man. Zion, okay, you say, yeah, you see an Afro chick. That's what I thought. Huh. Hmm. Okay. I'll ask Mike what to do about that. Interesting. Okay. All right, man. I just thought it was me, man. I just figured maybe I was tripping or something. But okay. All right. So let's get into this topic. What it means to be creative. Um, I would say that uh in terms of adaptation and survival, right? You know, those things favor those who are creative, who can think of out of the box solutions or think of a different way to do something or come up with something more efficient, right? And I'm applying that more to kind of like the technical side of things because that's largely what we deal with. But let's talk about the other side of the coin, right? Because we do dibble and dabble on that side of the equation too. Music and arts and Afrofuturism and these different types of sort of like future artistic creative concepts, right? So let's go into this topic of like creative, right? And given that it's the Sapio-Males Guide to the Galaxy, there is going to be some sort of correlation to say how it plays into like the intergender dynamics. Let's just say, right? Um, the first thing I'm going to cover is an article. It is from, and I'll share my screen here in a few. Wait a minute, dude. Let me do this, man. Real quick. Let's do this. If I just want to make sure, man, for playback reasons, sound is. If y'all can just do this for me real quick. 2, 3, 4. If the sound, everything is cool. I just want to make sure, man, so that like the sound so it's not sounding like shit and then we just go way into the live stream and then I hear it on playback. I'm like, damn, this sound like crap. So if y'all can just hit me with a 2, 3, 4, everything's good. Okay, all right, Afro, thank you so much. All right, okay. So but then we also have to talk about how um creativity and one's ability to express it in various manners and in various ways sort of plays into the intergender dynamics, right? And I was curious. I was doing a little bit of digging around because outside of just the quote thing, there was something else I did come across that I wanted to touch on, right? So wait, hold on a second. Where is it at? Okay, yeah. And I put the link in the description, but I'm also going to drop it in the chat right now. And it is from the National Library of Medicine. Okay. And it is an article that was published January 9th, 2023. The sexual selection of creativity, a nomological approach. So here, let me do this. Okay, so this is sort of like the initial preface. This is going to be like the initial reading material I'm going to go through, and then I'll drop the link. And I have some quotes, as you guys know, I like to do, and what other people say about creativity and what have you, right? But what factor does it play into like the whole sort of intergender dynamics type of thing, right? So here, let me do this. Let me do the screen shares. Boom. All right. All right. And so again, this is from the National Library of Medicine. Now I won't read the whole thing. This is a pretty long article, but I'm going to go through the abstract and maybe, and then there is also a graph or a chart and a sort of like an aside that I want to cover too. But we'll go ahead and get into this here. So yes, the sexual selection of creativity, a nomological approach. Abstract. Cultural innovations such as tools and other technical articles useful for survival imply that creativity is an outcome of evolution. However, the existence of purely ornamental items obfuscates the functional value of creativity. What is the functional or adaptive value of aesthetic and intellectual ornaments? Recent evidence shows a connection between ornamental creativity and individuals' attractiveness and their reproductive success. However, this association is not sufficient for establishing that creativity in humans evolved by sexual selection. In this critical review, we synthesize findings from many disciplines about the mechanisms, onto, onto, I'm sorry, ontogeny, phylogeny, and the function of creativity in sexual selection. Existing research indicates that creativity has the characteristics expected of a trait evolved by sexual selection. Let's pause right there. So it, it's it it's it's suggesting that one's ability to be creative is actually a byproduct of sexual selection, right? Now, the question becomes, well, what are the variables upon that selection which gives the outcome of, say, like someone who is highly creative? Is it the mating of two people who are creative? Is it one person who's creative, like let's say the male who's creative and the female who isn't, or the vice versa? Like, what are the let's say what's the ingredients for the recipe, right? How that is what we're going to call into question. However, based on the findings in this here, it suggests that creativity is the result of sexual selection. So let's just table that, something to think about here. Let's see here. Existing research indicates that creativity has the characteristics expected of a trait evolved by sexual selection: genetic basis, sexual dimorphism, wider variety in males, influence of sex hormones, dysfunctional expressions, an advantage in mating in humans and other animals, and psychological modules adapted to mating contexts. Future studies should investigate mixed findings in the existing literature, such as creativity not being found particularly attractive in a non weird society. Now, this also factors in societal, right? Societal cues, right? Um, Creativity is also oftentimes associated with awkward, weird. Um, what are some other synonyms we could use? Um, uh, Obscure. Um, Maybe say introverted, right? There's these things where in a, let's just say, non-weird society, right? These things kind of stand out as just that, weird. But let's just say in a if you've ever been to, say, like a arts district in any sort of town, a major town that has an arts district, right? Now, in that type of environment, it's totally normal. You get what I mean? So there's also this social dynamic, right? What is, or how accepted is one who is exceptionally creative? How accepted are they, say, like in this circle, or in this class, or in this community, over in that area of town, right? Versus, say, over here, right? So that is a factor to also consider. Moreover, we identified remaining knowledge gaps and recommended that further research should be undertaken in the following areas: sexual and reproductive correlates of creativity in non-weird societies, relationship between androgens, development, and creative expression, as well as the impact of and ornamental, technical, and everyday creativity creativity on attractiveness. Evolutionary research should analyze whether being and evolved signal of genetic quality is the only way in which creativity becomes sexually selected and therefore passed on from generation to generation. This review has gone a long way toward integrating and enhancing our understanding of ornamental creativity as a possible sexual selected psychological trait. And just so you guys know, ornamental creativity means like an external an external manifestation of creativity. So it's ornamental. It's like third dimensional. It's physical, or right, painting, a screenplay, music, performance, shit, engineering, you name it. Right. Okay. This is the introduction. Being creative secures undeniable practical benefits for survival. I'm going to say that again. Being creative secures undeniable practical benefits for survival. Crows and chimpanzees use twigs and create tools by modifying these twigs to better perform the desired aim. Chimpanzees, for instance, use such tools for termite fishing. Humans have also created tools and various implements, like clothing, for example, to make it easier to get food and survive in diverse environments. However, what would the evolutionary benefits be of body decoration, cave painting, literary classics, philosophical treatises, or guitar solos? That's what I was just mentioning. I'm like, there's the ornamental aspects of creativity. Darwin's answer to that question was sexual selection. The ability to make tools must have evolved by viability selection, for it helped in survival in hostile environments, while the aesthetic skills required to create artistic performances and products would have evolved through sexual selection because they contributed to mate attraction. So what's being suggested here is that um, the attraction element between the genders largely had a lot to do with one's ability to produce something, creative or otherwise, right? Because um, even in engineering, right, there's an art element, there's a creative element. How so, see something? What do they call it? They call it like they call it form over function, for example, right? Like you can make something look good, but by doing so, you're kind of overdoing it versus you can go rudimentary with it, right? Function, but it doesn't have, say, like an aesthetic quality or an imprint of a certain type of design philosophy, for example. And so, what you're looking to do is have that middle ground, right? You want form and function. You want both. You want somebody who holds your component and just says, "Wow, this looks good and it works good." You want them to say both. The extravagance of birdsong and plumage, together with humans' conspicuous drive to produce art and other forms of ornaments. Let's see here. Ornaments. Let's see. I.e., self grooming, daily behaviors, humor. Okay, these are all just links or what have you. Would have common evolutionary root. The aesthetic sensibility, artistic capacities, including musicality, creative capacities, and creative motivation necessary to produce and appreciate two different traits, by the way. Um, the ability to produce music, and then the ability to appreciate music. Now, let's just real quick, just a quick digression, right? Give me a second. When it comes to the the part about appreciation, right? Or appreciating music. So think about people who are like influencers. Um, Back in the day, like in the music industry days when it was an actual industry, when I was involved in it, you had these people that worked at labels called A&Rs, right? So just so you guys know here, and I'll show you. See, artist and repertoire. This is the name of my or I'll say our, because we wrapped it up into a bigger company, but artist and repertoire, Digimedia, right? Okay, that's the name of our label. This is our logo and all that good stuff. And this is some of the projects. I have a whole bunch more hidden, but yeah, artist and repertoire. So labels back in the day used to have a department called artist and repertoire. Okay. And what these people did was they went to like music showcases, clubs, venues, all types of stuff, right? They solicited demo tapes and all this kind of stuff. And these were the people that were responsible for taste making, let's just say, right? So these people had to have a certain type of what? Appreciation, right? For music to be able to know what is going to be new and what's going to be the next trend or the next wave. So this is absolutely correct, right? These are two different traits: the ability to produce it and the ability to appreciate it. And the creative motivation necessary to produce and appreciate these aesthetically conspicuous manifestations constitute a mental trait named ornamental creativity. And so this right here is what I want. Let me see it. Let's see if, okay, it'll work like that. And let me see if you guys can, that's too big. Wait. All right. Hopefully you guys can see that. Psychological systems recruited to produce creative manifestations. And this is like some very strange kind of, what do they call those bubbles? Where it's like a whole bunch of different circles and shit, and then they overlap, and then uh, you guys know what I'm talking about. Okay. Personality, openness, intelligence, convergent thinking, aesthetic sense, your style, for example, artisticality, all that equals ornamental creativity, right? Pragmatics, technological creativity, everyday domestic creativity, manifestation behaviors, painting, music, sculpture, literature, mood, right? If you're over on this side of what the hell do they call those, dude? When the things overlap, the bubbles. I forgot what they call those. But let's just say if everyday domestic creativity is your jam, right? That's your vibe. Okay, so you know you're doing like jewelry, cooking, fragrances, body painting, body movements like dance and all that kind of shit, right? You know, my baby cakes, she already she wants to be a chef. So this is totally her over here, right? This is totally her. Yeah, when you're over here, this is me, right? Tools, instruments, categories, math, right? Right here. And over here, intrinsic and extrinsic motivations recruit skills and insights to generate creative manifestations. So, this is sort of like a, again, I forgot what the hell you call these. Let me look at the chat. You guys know what this shit is called? Um, Sort of breaking down, you know, basically sort of like the scale. This is an interesting little bubble map thingy, but it makes sense. And again, um, you know what? Here's the link to the actual image if you guys want it. Give me one sec. Venn diagrams. There you go. Thank you. I was like drawing a blank, dude. I don't even know what the hell that was about. Yeah, what the I don't know what the hell was going on there. I was drawing a total blank. Okay, let's go back to the article here. Okay. So, figure one, this scheme synthesizes the main variables associated with creativity and the possible relationships between them. A schematic illustration of a possible psychological structure of creativity. Now, notice it did say possible. That's why I said it makes sense in looking at it, but yeah, it was an extremely complex, no pun intended, Venn diagram nonetheless. Let's see here. People who are more open to new experiences are more curious, flexible, and original, i.e., more creative and intelligent. Eh, Okay. There's a little caveat there, but okay. Creativity involves divergent and convergent
When
thinking.
was
Two
the last
character.
time I
What the
took a road
fuck?
trip? How
Hold
many
on one
national parks
second.
did I hit in 2 weeks? What
Jeez,
about
dude.
hotels? Wait, hey, Erica, how much am I spending?
Okay, there you go. All right. Sorry about that. Okay. Each type of okay, yeah, creativity involves divergent and convergent thinking, two characteristics associated with intelligence. Each type of creativity would operate according to its psychological mechanisms that are activated in the face of specific contexts and stimuli. These contexts and stimuli can have a reproductive nature, such as situations related to mate attraction or the visualization of a physically attractive partner. According to Feist, there's a link right there. It is in that link that I posted over there. Ornamental creativity would have evolved by sexual selection because it was more conspicuous, e.g., i.e., making artistic pieces, just like the peacock's plumage. But also, while technical creativity would have evolved by viability selection because it was more beneficial for survival, i.e., making tools. So, making artistic pieces, uh, you know, just like peacock plumage, or let's just go with modern day black culture, right? Like rap niggas. All right. Or somebody who actually can make some shit like that's useful, making tools. We also propose that reproductive motivations can mobilize everyday creativity. After all, people use their creativity and aesthetic sensitivity daily to beautify themselves, using makeup and clothes that enhance the most attractive features of the face and body, respectively. Importantly, sexual selection would have shaped the psychological propensities to perform these manifestations and to enjoy them, i.e., that appreciation aspect. This is interesting because I had read I read through various parts of this, and I was like, yeah, yeah, this is exactly what I was looking for. Let's see how much more we're gonna read of this. Okay, let's keep going. Recent studies seem to confirm that more creative people, particularly in the ornamental slash aesthetic aspect, are considered more attractive in Western, educated, industrialized, rich, and democratic societies. Holy shit. Okay. Nevertheless, more than that is needed to show that creativity evolved by sexual selection. A complete explanation must consider an ethological analysis, which holistically synthesizes evidence regarding mechanisms, ontology, philo- phylogeny, and evolutionary function, as well as nomological network based on theoretical cross cultural hunter gatherer genetic, psychological, medical, and physiological evidence. The more evidence in that nomological network, the greater the chances that a mental trait is a psychological adaptation. Psychological adaptations are cognitive modules evolved to solve problems reoccurring in the environment of evolutionary adaptiveness of a species. The consequences of these modules are flexible and adaptive behaviors, which allow them to be inherited by future generations as tendencies to develop the same modules on- ontogenetically. Ontogenetically, Jesus Christ. However, modules do not fossilize. How then to recognize them? I think I'm going to go into this last part. Well, let's keep reading. Okay, let's keep going. Human psychological adaptations can be recognized by criteria such as high efficiency, high complexity, high modularity, low phenotypic variance, low genotypic variance, low heritability, universality across cultures and individuals. However, the criteria used to identify adaptations evolved by viability selection differ from those used to identify adaptations evolved by sexual selection. Some of the ornamental adaptations evolved by sexual selection are fitness indicators. Effective fitness indicators are costly and wasteful, like a peacock's plumage, which is true because, outside of, what they say, niggas be peacocking, right? Hold on a second. This is true because a peacock's plumage, particularly the male plumage, right? It is literally only to attract a chick. Well, a chick. I mean, a grown. Chicks are the baby peacocks. I mean, like a grown chick. I mean, a grown peacock. I'm sorry. Um, that's what it's for. So that's why it says that these effective fitness indicators are costly and wasteful, like a peacock's plumage. Now think about like modern this modern day, what do they call it, dude? Like my daughter, she's used the term jokingly, looks maxing, like literally just going all out, doing a whole lot of extras, like literally like this right here, like the peacock's plumage, right? And ultimately it is what, costly and wasteful. So we're even seeing like um human behaviors, like in a strange way manifest just like this shit. Effective fitness indicators are also simple because they do not convey much information or to recruit many resources from the organism. They only need to create a discriminable signal perceivable at a reasonable distance that reliably indicates a single quantity. Fitness indicators must be sensitive to the covariation of different capacities to indicate their quality level, such as how the hell do you say it? A p a peahen a peahen okay, a peahen. That's what that is, a peahen. I said a chick. Maybe that's what they call like an adult female. I feel like something's on my arm. Yeah, what's something on my arm? Get off my arm. um I guess they call like an adult peacock a peahen. Well, I guess that makes sense, huh? A peahen peacock. Doy complex. Like, really, dude, come on. Peahen, dude. Pea, peacock, peahen, stupid. All right. Sorry, I just had a blonde moment. All right. Such as a peahen that notices a peacock's exuberant tail and becomes inclined to mate with it. And it becomes inclined to mate with it because simply it has an exuberant tail. Nothing more, nothing less, you guys. Furthermore, fitness indicators tend to vary more in the population than adaptation shaped by viability selection. That greater variability allows individuals to be sexually selected according to the display of the most costly indicator. This review integrates existing evidence to explore whether creativity is or is not a psychological adaptation evolved through sexual selection. There are earlier attempts to review evidence about the evolution of mental abilities. Todd and Miller, Blase book in 1998, and then this Clasios guy, 2013, he wrote something, including creativity, including creativity. But these earlier attempts do not use the nomological approach presented here. Okay, I think I'm going to go ahead and let me see here. Okay, I'll finish this last part and then that'll be it. And then for your guys' reading pleasure, The link is posted in the chat as well as in the description of this video. Before proceeding, we must make some critical caveats. That's what I was going to say, because there was some comments that we read earlier, and I was like, well, I think there's a caveat to that. So let's see what these critical caveats are. We do not suppose that creativity has evolved only by sexual selection. Okay. The idea is that the selection of creative partners has possibility overemphasized this ability, allowing it to be co-opted for ornamental purposes. We are also not assuming that a trait evolved by sexual selection originated from sexual selection. Traits can initially evolve by viability selection and then be co-opted and exapted by sexual selection. I.e., a foot fetish or bodily piercings. Fucking oh, I was I was not expecting to read that. Okay. We are also not saying that sexual selection is only about sex differences. Okay, see these books here written by these people here, nor only male biased sex differences. Okay, these books here written by these people here. Further, sexual selection is not a proximate motivation. For example, Bach could have been religiously motivated when composing music, but still could have increased mating success because of his musical success. Jesus, okay, what's fucking amazing to me is that people literally write dissertations based on these like wild premises. Like, for example, he could have been religiously motivated when composing music, but still could have increased mating success because I mean that basically is like your modern day hypersexual rapper, like the rap nigga that got like 10 kids. Yo, I'm stay in the studio, and he stay having kids at the same time. I'm sorry. All right. I'm making myself laugh too much. All right. Also, sexual selection is not only mate attraction, but also relationship maintenance, that long term ish. Intersexual competition, excuse me, intersexual conflict, and parenting. Okay. Well, there's something there to that one, especially parenting in the event that you end up procreating. Furthermore, we are not claiming that ornamental creativity. Oh, sorry. Furthermore, we are not claiming ornamental creative ability is the only route to differential reproduction. Other such domains include, but are not limited to, spets, right? Sports, of course, physical enhancements. What are they? What is what was that? Was it Ron Wills? He calls it body game. Body game, y'all. Right? Body game. Okay. Resource acquisition. So that would be, what do they call? Uh, w- I'm totally relating all this shit to the manosphere right now. So resource acquisition, that'd be like get high value man. There you go, high value man, right there. Okay, parenting skills, which I think that should be just standard procedure with anybody. Having kids, right? So that we don't have to necessarily make that um manosphere per se, but parenting skills, absolutely. And nepotism. Oh yeah, what my dad is? What my dad is? But yeah, for sure. Like you hear a lot about these right here, right? Sports, physical enhancements, resource acquisition, right? And what was the other one? It was ornamental creative. Yeah, ornamental creativity, ornamental creative ability, right? So your ability to peacock. or present yourself as peacocking anyway. All right. So I want to end it right there. Let's see what some of you guys have got to say about this. T really said, long time no see. Where you been? Busy as shit, man. Just busy. Everybody busy doing stuff, man. So, oh, wait, hold on. I didn't see this right here. Fishbone, Red Hot Chili Peppers, Living Color, Tech Head, Bad Brains, 80s and 90s. We'll check out Vinyl. Please check out Vinyl Williams, bro. Oh, man. Yeah, for sure. Rap niggas. Yep, I said it. All right. So, um, let's do this. I'm gonna step away for a quick second. I gotta use the restroom, actually. So I am gonna do that. But I will drop the link here. And get you all's thoughts, man. We can also read through some quotes if you guys feel inclined to do so. I like reading quotes myself, especially on these types of live streams, right? Where we can really kind of dig into like the hell all this means. All right, so look, you drop the link. Give me tres momentos, por favor, and be right back.
Sell to your customers anywhere with Shopify, the commerce platform designed for entrepreneurs. Online, on social, in person, and on the go. Get the tools you need to sell the way you want, powered by Shopify.
Okay, okay. I am back. And I'm properly toasted too, by the way. Yeah, I figured while I step away, may as well partake. Um, okay. Well, we dropped the link here. We don't have anybody up right now. So let's do this. I got some quotes. I got some quotes, y'all. We're gonna read some quotes. All right. We're gonna read some quotes. And by the way, let me just take this time to do a couple of acknowledgments. One, um, my baby niece just came home. She was born prematurely, about 2.5 months ago, 3 months ago. So she spent a lot of time in ICU. So to my niece Adalea, your uncle cannot wait to see you tomorrow. Okay. So big ups to my baby niece. Yeah, I got a niece. So can't wait to see her tomorrow. So big ups to her. Big ups to my baby cakes, man. She just doing awesome projects at her school. She's gonna be finishing up 6th grade this year. Oh Lord, my baby cakes is growing up, man. She's getting old. Oh my God. So big up to her. And last but not least, big up to y'all for shit fucking with us. You know what I'm saying? Whether you're subscribed to us, you're listening to us right now, you find the content intriguing, you find it informative, interesting.
Meet Asana,
Appreciate
a
that.
work
What
management
is
platform
up
that
with
helps companies get more
this
done and
dude?
save on
Come
time.
on.
Teams can stay connected
That
while
is just not cool. I don't know why that was popping up. It should not be. Oh shit. You know what? It's on the wrong thing. That's why it's doing that. Okay. All right. My bad, y'all. Got some ads popping up. Yeah. So big up to you guys too, man, for rocking with us, man. Make sure you hit the like button. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe. Share it with some peoples. All that kind of good stuff. But I don't know. I just thought maybe a conversation about. Oh, and real quick, it is weird. I can see the thumbnail. Rael can't. Some people saw it. Some people can't. That is weird. That's a YouTube problem, not a us problem, I think. But yeah, everybody's kind of seeing something different. So okay. So yeah. So anyway, let's get back to it. No. So I thought this notion of this idea of creative or what it means to be creative. I'm like, what is that? How does that even translate into how other people see you, right? And so that article right there actually had a lot to say, right? And essentially, there's sort of two kind of base aesthetics you can go on, right? Ornamental creativity, and then practical, let's just say, right? Utility creativity. So two veins or two venues, right? The question becomes like, what do you guys create? Let me ask that question maybe before I go into the quotes. Let me ask the question like, what do you guys create? Like in terms of maybe say like hobbies. What are some shits? What are some things that you guys do um to exercise and develop your creative abilities? Do you write? Do you or okay, go to the gym? Do you build things? Right? You like me? You're like you're a tinkerer. I tinker with shit. That's all I do. I just tinker with stuff all the time. Um, Thank you guys, man. Appreciate it. Thank you guys so much. Appreciate it. Um, but I mean, in terms of like, how do you guys express creativity? Do you guys make music? You know, um, woodworking. You said okay, yeah. I was in wood shop back in middle school. I took wood shop. I loved it. That's it's basically how I know how to even work with wood now. I mostly work with metal nowadays. Mostly, I mean that's literally all I work with. But I can work with some wood. Various saws and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, in middle school, man, yeah, I did some wood shop, made like a toolbox and some other things. I think what was it like a tea rack? Made a tea rack, made a toolbox, and I made something else. There was one other thing, maybe like a car or something, like a pine box. What do they call it? A pine wood derby car or something like that. Some shit. Yeah. Okay. Woodworking. Anyone else? Yeah. Just kind of feel free to drop what it is that you do to engage in the creative process, right? To kind of develop that part of you. For me, it's no secret, dude. It's all this e-bike and e-scooter shit, uh, stuff like that, and just other little sort of niche things to like learn about and then become like specialized in. Like for me, also small Italian motors, two-stroke engines and stuff like that. As you said, I've designed T-shirts with my favorite novelists, science fiction novelists. People in bookstores respond very positively. So there you go, another expression, right, where it actually garners attraction or a response from people, right? Like it's something you create, then draws people back over to you and says, "Hey, what is that? Where did you get that? Oh, I made this. You did, right? You know, um, and I think a lot of people don't actually engage in like a hobby or something where it basically involves them creating something. Even if you bought like, let's say if you're a hobbyist and you bought like little car models and stuff, right? I used to mess with them when I was little. You know, you could like some people put them together and they look like shit. Other people, and I follow people on YouTube that do this type of shit, right? Where they are like completely OCD with it and they make it where it looks like the real damn car, right? And so they're able to take something and then create something out of it that most people can't do. So it's always interesting, and that's why I spend a lot of my time, if it's not like music or news, like some sports or like racing or shit like that, it's usually like people creating shit for me on YouTube, in terms of like content that I create, because I learn so much from other people and how they like their thought processes. Like guys that build batteries, for example. I'm like, oh, okay, I didn't know like I didn't know you could do it that way. You know, you got dudes that'll just as a just yeah, I'm gonna mess around and do this, and then it's just like, wait, I didn't know you could do that with that, right? So you learn so much from other people's creativity, right? Especially if we're talking about utilizing like platforms like this. There's you can put your attention towards like just a bunch of gobbledygook, or you can put your attention towards people who have shared their creative processes. And you got to think of it as sort of like data acquisition. You're learning through their learning process, right? You don't necessarily have to do it, but I can tell you countless times where in the shop, I end up just recalling something that somebody did on YouTube and I'll just do it and it works, right? Just that quick and that easy. So there's a lot of value in sort of like data acquisition, right? Acquiring other people's creative processes in order to enhance yours. You know, like these are things to really think about. Given also like the article we were just reading and shit. I mean, there's like all these people that have had like a lot to write and say about you know what how creativity correlates to sexual attraction. It's just, I guess it's a matter of how how it manifests and how it's expressed. And I really think that that's really the cornerstone of like what we're trying to get at here, right? I have for me personally, I'm a minimalist type of person in the sense that like let's just say e-bikes, e-scooters, all that kind of shit, right? I like them to have a very sort of muted utilitarian but well thought out look, right? Like that's kind of how I like, because my thought is, okay, this is going to get used, it'll probably get abused, somebody may fall off of it a couple times. So if it takes some bumps, it's not going to look too bad after taking said bumps, but it's going to work, right? And that's always been my thought. So it needs to work well, and then if you can make it look nice and appealing without going too crazy, then you add that extra little spice to it, and then boom. And so that's me. I kind of like the minimalist type of vibe. Minimalist, I guess you could say function over form. If we were to throw the little greater than, lesser than type of things, it would be greater than for function, right? I focus more on like function as opposed to form.
Harbor
Oh
Freight
wait, hold on
knows
one
skill
second.
is important.
We got another quick little ad here. Dang, I'm logged into the wrong account. Okay, sorry about that. Yeah, so I'm more of a function over form, but I do have an appreciation for form. I just don't want it to compromise function, right? Sometimes people will do things to look good, but it compromises the function, right? It looks so good, you don't want to scratch it, right? Where things like scratches and nicks and shit like that are actually inevitable. So taking those things into account should actually, well, this is again in my view and in my philosophy, those types of things should be taken into account in terms of function, so you don't feel any kind of way about it. So because so for example, you could just throw like some Cerakote paint on the frame of an e-bike or a scooter. And Cerakote paint is essentially the same type of paint that they paint guns with. So when you fire off a gun, you'll have like tiny little pieces of like shrapnel, right? That'll fire back and scratch or scrape the gun and shit. And you'll have dudes that like, they have them a nice little piece made, and the last thing they want is it all like scratched and nicked up from firing it off. So what you do is you just throw Cerakote paint on there, and then that way, when you clean the shit off, you clean off the fucking fire deposit or whatever, and yeah, no nicks, no scratches or nothing, right? Function over form. So potato, right? Let's see. Truth. Uh-oh. This guy right here. And this guy right here. Triz. What up? Triz knows a little something about this type of stuff too. Man, you say you always dig the minimalism concept. Well, so here's the thing about minimalism, right? So with regards to minimalism, um, okay, there's a notion or an idea in engineering that is, if you could take something complex, no pun intended. Okay, the more you can simplify it, the more you can simplify something complex, the more intelligence was put into its design. Again, no pun intended. But if you want to know where I kind of got all this from, but that's the thought. Um, if you could take something, you have like this crazy idea, right? And let's just say the idea hits you, right? The light bulb comes on and then explodes over your head, and then you're like, "Holy shit!" And then you start thinking about it. And so when you first think about it, there's probably going to be all these working parts and working pieces. But then the more time you spend thinking about it, what you start doing is you start streamlining the idea, or at least, if you're typically the type of person that'll kind of brainstorm things out to see if there's some viability to it. What you want to do is, fuck, it's called. Let me look it up. Let me look it up. Let's talk about it. Okay, here we go. Let me share my screen. All right. So what we're talking about here is Occam's razor. The principle attributed to William of Ockham that in explaining a thing, no more assumptions should be made than necessary. The principle is often invoked to defend reductionism or nominalism. Okay. So essentially, in a nutshell, KISS, keep it simple, estúpido. There you go, right there. I'm not sure about that name, but that is it. The most reasonable explanation is likely the explanation. You're absolutely right. That is essentially the premise of Occam's razor. Like the simplest explanation is actually the correct one. It's not a bunch of fucking gobbledygook. So when you ask somebody a simple question and then they go on a whole blase skippy and you're like, dude, that's literally like a 3-word answer, right? The 3-word answer is the correct one, right? If we're to go by Occam's razor. So it's sort of like taking that same premise, but also applying it to like design and art aesthetic and shit, right? Communicating the most with the least amount of words. Communicating, let's say, a large idea with very little colors. Let's say if you do the art thing, right? It's doing the most with the least, right? And there's an art and a science to that. Doing the most with the least. So I'll go again off of like just personal anecdote. All the e-bikes and the scooter stuff I do, right? I'm not, because I've taken too many tumbles and like literally like legit injuries. Like literally from 2 years ago, my right shoulder is still popping from me dislocating it from that accident almost 2 years ago. So for me, speed of micromobility, like e-scooters, e-bikes, I'm not so concerned about speed. I'm more concerned about utility and distance, like actual use, application. Like I want it to be as I want to max out what the vehicle is capable of, right? So that type of stuff, my thought is, okay, how can I cram the biggest battery possible in it without modifying it, right? The actual shape or anything like that. See, so you can get a vehicle and like typically from like, I'm not gonna name the company, but actually the name of the company is the second word of Occam's razor. But let's just say, for example, you get one of their vehicles, right? And like I yank that battery out, but I want to stuff like something that'll like more than double the range on it. But when I stuff it in there, you wouldn't even know that there's another battery in there. See, I'm that type of person. I don't want to like change anything, but I want to maximize what it can do. So I'll think of shit like that. I'll just spend hours in my garage like, maybe this and this and that. And the next thing you know, I'm on the phone with the battery factory in China and I'm sending them pictures. I got the caliper out and giving them like dimensions and measurements and shit. Like, what's the biggest we could do for this right here? What if we did this configuration? Like, how would it work? And right. So, I'm more of a maximization type of person. Some people are performance oriented. They want to go fast and shit. What's the fastest we can make this? How do we do it? Different philosophies, You said it's in alignment with principles of parsimony. Interesting. That's an interesting thought there. Okay. I mean, I would say that there's high pragmatism and high practicality in minimalism, right? And so I think that if you take minimalism as a basis and you're doing something creative, you can really challenge people. Like a lot of the and this is what I like about, again, like the micromobility stuff, the e-scooter and the e-bike stuff, because there are a lot of, like, when you think about a scooter, right? It's very, very, very simple. The device doesn't weigh, it- I don't know what, 30 pounds, depending on the size of the scooter, 25, 30, 40 pounds, 45 pounds, whatever, right? However, you may weigh like 150, 60, 70, 200, 220, whatever, right? And this is a little ass device that literally will move your ass from point A to point B and will get you to where you need to go. So that is the function part of it, right? Then comes the form. So how do we make it look? You know, how do you make this more of a viable thing to people, uh, as a transportation alternative? Somebody can't afford a car, but then they like, I saw this scooter and I thought it was really cute. And just that the fact that they looked at it and they thought it was cute made them think, well, maybe I should just get this instead of a car. Think about that, right? So, I mean, there's so many virtues to um, this notion of this idea of being creative, right? And so again, I kind of went on the micromobility tangent and all that shit, but the greater point is that um, there is a factor in what it is that we as individuals, what we engage in terms of like practice of creation, again, hobbies and stuff like that. People said t-shirt design, woodworking. I talked about the e-bike and boring ass scooter shit. Um, but that shit does draw people to you. And Afro SF even said it. He's out rocking his shirt, right? Oh my god, I love that shirt. Where did you get it? I made this. You did? Do you have them in stores? I mean, who knows where that kind of shit goes, right? You know, I think really the most key or important part is what is that whole sort of creative thing like? What does that look like for us all individually, right? Like I can tell you about e-scooters and e-bikes and racing carts and all that, and all that shit until your ears fall off. You know, I'm not I'm not telling you should do it though, right? So it really becomes like, okay, what is it that you, we, what do we do individually from a creative standpoint to cultivate and better ourselves, right? That, I guess that's the greater question. It's true, as you said, especially in Cali, micromobility is perfect for that area. And right now, man, this is prime market. This is prime market time right now. Kids are about to get out of school. We've been in the 90s all week, which is another reason why I ain't been live, because the heat's been zapping me. We didn't have much of a spring, so we went right into heat. I'm like, shit. So I'm trying to adjust right now. I think you can also appeal to a niche. Well, I mean, that's the thing, right? Triz, like a niche. That's the whole thing about a niche. It's like you have your lane. You have your own lane. Damn, you've been in the 50s? Oh boy. Man, all week, bro. Like damn, we damn near hit 100. I think it was Wednesday, man. It was like 96, 97, man. Um, but no, like a niche, that the thing about a niche is that that's your own lane. That's all you. When you can successfully create that, it's not the easiest thing to do, right? It's not. Um, because it is literally your own lane. So what you have to do is you have to have a heightened level of confidence in yourself, in your abilities, and your creations. If you're going to go the niche route, if you were to ask me if you should go the niche route, I will tell you yes and always. But then again, I'm that kind of dude, right? Like I'm actually I look for niches. That's me, right? A lot of people kind of just want to ride a wave and they don't really want to do that too much. They don't want to they don't want it to be hard because a niche is that's hard. It's let me not say that. It's it's different. It doesn't have to be hard, but it's different. Hey, well, hit me up, man. Like, let me know where you're gonna be at, man. Yeah, let me know where you're gonna be at. Yeah, but a niche is always ideal. Okay, niche is always ideal. It's not the easiest thing, right? But I've seen successes in the niche area more than once. So I'm convinced more of carving out a niche more so than trying to out compete 100 other people. I would rather my competition just basically be myself. And I was gonna say somebody who dares try to copy me, but then again, they're trying to copy me, so they're not actually competition, are they?
What a pleasant surprise that longing reemerged in place of anxiety, like a lone blossom in a snowy field. It was the sparse
Hmm.
composition of
All
beautiful
right. Let me
harmony,
see if I have anything
topping
else
soft pillars.
to say on this.
Plus the
Um.
$100 distance from
Wait. Hold
overthinking
on.
and a 40-minute drive to distraction.
She's. Hold on one second, you guys.
Covert blues and overthought. Honey high and blue. That's what they call it. In a shaky exhale, even. A mad dash toward the
Okay.
emergency exit of a
I'm gonna
city
step away
with
for
an
just
overflow.
one second.
A subversive release.
Wait, is that Triz?
Gotta come out at some point.
Triz, if that's you, put put something in the private chat if that's you. I think that's you.
You just want to taste.
Cause I gotta go grab something for my daughter real quick.
I can make you feel good. Said I elevate you. Said you never had it like this.
Bet.
before.
Okay, hold up. Let me bring you up, dog.
I can tell if you're a little strong out. Still looking good as hell. Looking good as hell. Are you well? Trying to escape the pain. I convinced of the stories you tell yourself.
Yo,
Honestly,
What's up? You hear me?
what's good with you?
Same old, same old.
No, it's not. What's the word, bro?
Man, I've been busy, so I finally caught you online. So,
Yeah,
uh,
well, we chopped a little minute ago, man. So
yeah,
I'm glad you was able to pull up, fam. How you doing, man?
man, life is good, man. I can't complain.
That's what's up. That's what's up, man. Hey, dude. Hey, can you hold it down for me for like 2 minutes? Let me
Yeah,
just go grab something for my daughter, man.
all right.
Man, reintroduce yourself, bro. It's like, fuck, bro. You've been, I shit, dude. Like you,
I've been in the bleachers.
damn, huh?
I've been in the bleachers. I ain't went nowhere. I've been in the bleachers.
I know, man. But hey, man, just hey, reacquaint yourself, everybody, man. I'm gonna be right back, okay?
Yeah, this Super Triz right here. It's,
All right, bet.
one of the original, I want to say second wave Black Brain Trust members. You know, so yeah, man, I've been on several streams back in the day, but I had to kind of fall back because I've been busy with some stuff in my personal life, trying to get some stuff taken care of. But I'm back. I've always been in the bleachers, catching the streams here and there, catching a lot of replays. Um, But yeah, I'm just glad to be back. Catch you guys live. Shout out to everybody in the chat. I see Truth as I Know It. Rael. Let me see what else I see in the chat. Those are some of the ones that I remember from back when I was on. A lot of the other ones are new. A lot of the other names I see here: Seeking the Creator, Strength, DNE or DNY, Senku, Ishigashi, and Emmanuel Briggs. I remember that name from back in the day. But everybody else seems to be kind of new. But yeah, with the whole creative vibe, I think it's imperative that you do what works for you, because when you try to yield to what's appealing, it gets tiresome and it gets tedious to try to be something that you're not. And I guess it really depends on your intentions, because if you're really trying to find something of significance, you want to start off on a good foot. You want to start off being yourself, as opposed to trying to be something that you're not, or at least trying to fit in. Even if you're not really trying to be something that you're not, you're just trying to be more appealing to the masses, as opposed to staying in your lane. I just prefer to stay in my lane, you know. I think it's just easier that way, especially from a long-term standpoint. But if you're just trying to have fun, you know, sometimes you're just trying to go with the flow, because there's just more broad appeal when you go with the flow. But at any rate, I think that on the micromobility piece, I think that, you know, you really don't see a lot of Black men embracing micromobility, because culturally it was like we like a bigger is better type vibe. You see what I'm saying? Like with the rims, or, you know, loud sound system, crazy paint. And that's not really the, you know, micromobility is more about efficiency, less is more.
Yeah.
And purpose.
Yep.
You know, function over form, as opposed to the status quo in the Black community, which is form over function.
But you know, man, the cats over in New York right now, they wilding out with the electric scooters, man. These cats are getting loud with the sound, the Bluetooth sound system to the phone, and the lights and shit. Yeah, they getting loud with it, man. But like, that's, see, the move. See what it is. It's the younger generation that's adopting it, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There was this tomorrow, me and Renaissance, man, we're gonna cover some, I think Monday we're gonna do it. Either tomorrow or Monday. I'll check in with him and see what he's doing. But we're gonna do a follow-up to that whole China EV tariff piece. You know, with Biden just signed through that tariff act, the China EV Act, right?
Yes.
Now, what it did was it also affected other industries, dude. It wasn't just, see, they made it about the EVs. It's not just the EVs, dude. It's medical equipment. So, for example, dude, like, you know, the little CVS thermometers and shit that you buy at CVS and stuff? Okay,
Yeah.
25% tariff on those, okay? My battery costs 25% just went up. Solar equipment. So when you go to Harbor Freight, Lowe's, Home Depot, shit like that, right? 25% tariff on all that shit. Solar panels, right? Chinese produced, 25%. Man, so it's like, there's actually, when you read into it, there's a lot to it. And it's not just the EV thing. Now, we're going to largely cover the EV thing, right? Because we got to revisit a live stream, bro, that we did 4 years ago about open source electric cars.
Yeah.
Right. So how to decentralize, construction of electric cars, as well as, and the thing about it is, let's go back to the micromobility piece, right? The reason why we've been pushing that so hard is because it's most accessible, and it's most affordable, and it's most practical and useful. You know what I'm saying? Like, when you were just talking about being like loud and we got to do things big instead of being useful and practical and purposeful.
I think the biggest hurdle is going to be when if you're outsourcing the manufacturing of electric vehicles, whether it be micro mobility or be an actual roadworthy vehicle. I would say more towards roadworthy vehicles will be insurance companies. You know, that's always the biggest hurdle is getting something, because right now there's an issue with, obviously there's the 25-year I'm trying to think of the term for it, but basically when you import a vehicle, it has to be at least 25 years old if you import a vehicle from, say, Japan, right?
Right. Yeah.
So now you're seeing, you know, at the 25-year mark, now we're seeing more of the, you know, the R34 GTRs coming over here, and you know, some of the RX-7s, and they're low mileage because they're coming from Japan, where, you know, there's penalties once a vehicle reaches certain ages. So a lot of people just stop.
You can only, like once a vehicle reaches a certain age, if you're going to keep it in Japan, it costs a whole lot.
I think it's like, I want to say it's like 6 or 7 years. It's like kind of like the cutoff.
Yeah, and then after that, that's when you pay a stupid amount of money to keep old cars.
Yeah, you got to register, and it's like a special, like, sticker and all that crap.
It's similar to what they do in California. I mean, but dude, here's the thing though. What about, this is so this is going to go into the live stream that me and Renaissance are going to do, because there's a lot of muddy water right now about the whole EV thing, the mandates for EVs. You have all of the big manufacturers, Toyota, Ford, GM, Honda, you name them, they all sued the EPA over those EV mandates, because see, the thing about it is that Congress has to determine how companies can operate. Okay, mandates can't come from the EPA. They don't have legally. They don't have the power to actually mandate that. It's just the lawsuit is to essentially say, okay, who has the power to actually make these determinations? Okay, and the reason why is because companies like Toyota, for example, and Zone is there. I see him. He'll tell you, Toyota has a lock on the hydrogen fuel cell technology. Okay, see, so we're going to be talking about green energy, green mobility, and stuff like that from major automotive manufacturers. You got to look at Toyota and them saying, hey, well, we want to use the technology that we've developed. You know, it's sort of like you're going against the sort of free market principles, number one. Number two, you know, given that these are publicly traded companies, you know, they're beholden to their shareholders, right? Before anything, at the end of the day, you know, all publicly traded companies, their fiduciary responsibility is to turn a profit to their shareholders. See, so which one is it? Am I honoring my fiduciary responsibility, or are you guys just basically dictating to us how we run our business? Right? Like, what do we have going on here, right? So they all said, hey, listen, man, we're not going to do this, because the early numbers, especially coming in right now, Tesla's sales are down, I think, 10% since the beginning of the year, right? Stock price is down, about 40%? Okay. Layoffs. They're on their 5th round of layoffs. Okay. This is all on the heels of like this EV tariff stuff, and BYD trying to bring in a car that basically $10,000, right? $10,000 electric car. Okay. With this new tariff, it became 25 because
total game changer.
Yeah, it would be a total. Well, here's the thing: Elon's on record saying basically, if BYD came and did that, they would nuke the damn car market. Because I'll tell you right now, it's going to be all of the like lower income people that would basically go and purchase the car, and they would purchase it in droves because it's affordable.
Well, I mean, you got to think about this, right? So we already had issues with someone trying to upset the market. So I don't know if you remember Tata Motors from India.
From India, yeah.
So Tata was trying to bring over a pickup truck that was going to be like $7,000 a couple years ago, and then they also had it's almost like a what you would consider a cross between a Grenadier and a I want to say is a Suzuki that made the but basically what it looks like a Land Rover Defender, but a budget version.
Oh,
of it.
I know what you're talking about.
And then they also had, it was another India company, not Tata, but it was another one. I can't remember what the other Indian company was, but they had a version of the Jeep Wrangler, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so they got sued basically so that they couldn't release. They were saying like it was like almost like copyright infringement or something like that. But basically, the companies lobbied to prevent those cars from coming over here because they were going to come to America at a price point that would severely undercut the major manufacturers here. So you would have people who would actually consider buying those vehicles that normally wouldn't consider buying a vehicle that type, just based on the actual entry price. And then because those vehicles would come at such a price point, it would allow these companies to actually get a foothold in the American market, and they could probably, or they would potentially bring over, other car makes. Like,
of course,
I'm sure they were bringing a sedan of some sort.
Isn't that always sort of like the plan, right? You come in with, remember, dude, you remember back in the day and shit. Remember when Hyundai came in with the Excel back in like, what was it, like 88, 89? Remember that shit?
Yep.
Remember that cheap ass? Remember that cheap ass, right?
My neighbor next door, he had the listen. Let me tell you about this Hyundai Excel. Right, Hyundai Excel used to be.
Let's go.
You used to be see those at the laundromats.
Yo,
across Southern California, there will always be a Hyundai.
Are we talking 9.0? What were we talking? What's the?
We talking like a 91 Hyundai Excel.
No, I'm saying in the 909, like what's the code? Where we
92336, 92337.
Okay.
They was after laundromats.
Okay. All right.
They was after laundromats. And then so let me tell you how unpopular the Hyundai Excel was. My neighbor, he was a little bit older than me, right? He was my sister's age. His name was Brian, never forget. He had a Hyundai Excel. That's what his parents gave him like as his like high school car with it, right?
Yeah.
His mom drove a Hyundai Scoop. You remember the Hyundai Scoop?
Scoop, yep.
His mom drove a Hyundai Scoop. So he had the Hyundai Excel. So his parents parked their cars in the garage. He had to park his car on the street in front of the house. So what we would do is we would play baseball. His Hyundai Excel would be the backstop.
Bruh, come on, man.
Listen.
Why y'all doing like
dents in his car. I remember one time they was actually playing, because we play tennis ball over there, right? This one day, it was one of my homies, he had some Mexican, he was Mexican, but he had his Mexican cousins come over, and they was playing with a hard ball.
Damn.
And so they used his car as a backstop, broke his whole window out. He came to every house in the neighborhood, knocking on doors, man, who broke my window? Yeah. Everybody acting like they didn't know what happened. But that was because nobody had respect for that car at all. Like nobody respected a Hyundai back in the day.
But look, people respect the Hyundai now, though, don't they?
Yeah, they do. Matter of fact, people think especially if they got a Hyundai Palisade, they think they're in a Rolls Royce Cullinan.
Hey, wait. Is that the? Are you talking about Someone shut up, dude.
Now the kid is the Telluride. The kid is the Telluride.
Okay, my bad.
And the chassis made is the Hyundai Palisade, right?
Got you. Okay.
And so people drive around these Hyundai Palisades like they're in the Cullinan. They think they're in the Cullinan the way they be driving around the Palisade.
Right.
Yeah.
Now BYD, the last live stream we did on the EV and micromobility joint, we played a clip where they got like a BYD, like a SUV joint, and it looks kind of like the new, what is it, the Range Rover? What is it called? The Defender. What's the bigger one? Is the Defender the smaller one or the bigger one? Range Rover.
Well, I mean, the Defender is the newer model that came out, It's not necessarily the size, but I think the Defender comes in a couple of different wheelbases.
But is it smaller or bigger?
It comes in a couple of different wheelbases. Is what I'm
Okay.
saying. So,
All right. So I
it's not a
think that,
small
but
one or large.
it has that shape. But man, this thing can do like 0 to 60 in 3 seconds. It's
Yeah.
BYD, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
So you know, I was mentioning on that live stream, you know, BYD, they have a
Oh, I know
bus.
what you're talking about. I see it now. I'm looking at it right now.
You see it? Okay. They have a plant in Lancaster, actually, in Lancaster, California. Now, the thing is that that plant only does electric buses. It does
Uh-huh.
not do their production cars, right? It doesn't do any of their production cars or anything like that. It only does the electric buses. They have rolled off some prototype vehicles off of that just to kind of show that they can actually do it here, but they only make buses, right? So they
Mhm.
have a car called the Seagull. That's the one that literally was slated to sell for 10K. And it really, here's the thing, it's a few things. One, BYD's their supply chain is literally all in-house, top to bottom. Okay. Then you add to that heavy government subsidies from the Chinese. That's how you can basically sell a $10,000 car and make a profit. Trent said that they stunned in them Tellurides. Yeah, I done seen a few of them. Hey, Trish, are you trying to screen share?
No, not yet. Hold on.
Okay.
No, I'll let you know.
Okay, all right. Yeah, you say you send them. Yeah, no, for real. They be pushing them Tellurides hard, bro. Zone, you said China has a bad habit of dumping products in the USA, so selling cars at a loss in order to take over the market. See, that's the thing, dude. BYD is not selling at a loss, dude. Zone, that's the thing. They're not selling at a loss. They're so not selling at a loss. And this is what the automakers here in the US fear. Because they're actually not selling at a loss. That's why they can just do it and continue to do it. And then they can, okay, wait.
Is that the one you're talking about?
Wait. You want to share that or you want to share?
I'm asking if that's the one you're talking about. I don't know if that's the one you're talking about.
Yeah,
the
that's
BYD.
it. That's it.
Okay.
Right there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Just so everybody can see what you was talking about.
Yeah. That's what I mean. It's just like at the $10,000 mark on an electric car, and this totally is turned into an electric car, and it doesn't matter. We're talking creativity and shit. At 10K, they're actually clearing costs on those cars, bro.
Wait, hold on. Are you saying they're gonna sell this particular model for $10,000?
No, the Seagull.
Oh, okay. I'm about to say.
Look up the BYD Seagull. I want you to pull that
I'll
up.
do that.
Yeah, look up the BYD Seagull. Okay, Strength, you said the Hellcat I'm sorry, the Stingers, the Kia Stingers. That's interior. Which one? On what car? So you said China sold steel to the USA as a loss in order to shut down. They did that, but you gotta look at BYD's infrastructure. Because check it out. BYD also sells 1 out of every 4 electric cars in Europe. Okay, and they sell under different brands too. Bro, like BYD is sold globally, they sold 3 million cars last year. Like what other electric car company has done that? Like trust me, like BYD is one. Look, matter of fact, Renaissance Man was telling me Neo, is that it right there?
The Seagull. Oh yeah.
That's the Seagull. That's it right there. That's
$10,000.
That car is supposed to be $10,000, dude.
That's crazy.
$10,000. Hold on a second. Give me 1 second here. Yeah, give me 1 second. Yeah. That car right there is literally $10,000. What they did was they slapped 102.5% tariff on that car. Yep,
There we go. That's a bigger picture. There we go.
there it is right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that car's supposed to be $10,000. It's 25 now with 102.5% tariff. Right?
So,
that's
so wait,
that's
wait, say that again now.
$12,500.
So even at $12,500, that's insane for an electric vehicle.
No. They have to add $12,500 to the $10,000 that car is actually sell for.
That really
capped it. They cost capped it $25,000.
So what they would have to do at that point is they would have to supplement the vehicle with either features to make it worth.
I mean, here's the thing, dude. Like, because look, BYD they have better cars at the $25,000. If you were paying tariff-free $25,000 for a car, this wouldn't be the car you would get. It would be a different one. Because this is a $10,000 car.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
So if they let's just say that they were to attempt to bring a vehicle at $25,000 as the MSRP, would they still have to pay the additional tariff on top of that?
Yes. And wait, and check this out. Also, according to the legislation, these cars, they also do not qualify for federal, state rebates or tax incentives.
Interesting.
You're paying cash price.
Well then, wouldn't it make sense for BYD to make an American subsidiary?
Okay, well, this is what Zone is saying. Just make it in the USA.
There you go.
Okay, I was just saying, dude. But here's the thing: BYD has a plant, right? They have a plant in Lancaster where they roll the buses out. Now, I don't know what the particulars are as to why it is that, maybe they're only permitted to only do the buses and that's it, even though they've been able to do other things, but it's not anything that the public can purchase. But they have manufacturing already going on here in California.
Well, here's another idea. What is the ailing manufacturer here like Suzuki? Suzuki already pulled out, I think, mostly, but Mitsubishi already has, because how big is BYD?
I mean, everywhere else they're pretty big. Like I said, they're selling the majority of the electric cars everywhere else. Because
see, what I would think about doing would be like, well, maybe do like a joint venture with like Mitsubishi, because they already have an established network with the Fuso trucks. Because Mitsubishi still makes those kind of commercial
the commercial trucks.
They're the commercial like cab over models.
It's the cab over, the small diesel turbo diesel cab overs.
And then they also still make like I think they make like one SUV. What's the name of that Mitsubishi SUV? Because they stopped making a Lancer, but they still make it, because you can still get it from the rental car place.
Yeah, but you know what, man? I was talking to the homie Jamal, man, about that shit. There's actually some stuff about why like the cars are no more here, and it has to do with just like some bad business decisions.
Well, that means that they could probably be bought for or at least their U.S. arm could be bought for pennies on the dollar.
Mitsubishi?
That's what I'm saying.
You're talking about selling off the car business, because you got Mitsubishi Heavy, the heavy industries.
Yeah, Mitsubishi. That's part of Fuji Heavy Industries. Because Mitsubishi falls under Fuji Heavy Industries.
Is that under Fuji Heavy?
Yeah, they're under Fuji Heavy Industries.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So then Fuji Heavy would have to sell the Mitsubishi car unit off. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, I mean, but if they're not making, well, they would just have to sell off the U.S. arm of it, because I think that each.
Whoa! Wait a minute.
Hold on, let me look that up then.
Wait, are you sure it's owned? Wait, Mitsu is owned by Renault, Nissan, Mitsubishi.
Yeah, so yeah, let me see here.
Really?
Fuji. Let me look up Fuji Heavy Industry, see what they own.
Really? I thought that was Fuji. Sold a long time ago. Really?
Hold on for a sec. Damn it.
Well, now Zone be knowing his shit, so that's why I'm like,
Hold
okay.
on for a second. Let me.
Yeah. Huh. Zone, you can't trust each other. You might inflate the numbers. Inflate what numbers? What are you talking about? He said it was under FCA when they changed the merger with another European company. I thought something happened with that whole Renault Nissan thing, man. I didn't know Mitsubishi was a part of that.
We're not bought Nissan.
No, I know, but
bought,
then there was that whole thing about Renault fudged the numbers, right? To get the majority, to get the upper hand in the deal with the whole Renault Nissan acquisition. And then come to find out Renault's numbers wasn't exactly what they said it was. And then do you remember Carlos Ghosn? Like he's the dude, he was the president or the guy, the head of Renault at the time. Bro, they had to put him in a fucking suitcase and smuggle him out of Japan because they were trying to arrest him. Hold on. Wait. I'm gonna look that shit up. Hold on. I'm gonna look it up right now. Hold on, watch it.
He had to be a little dude to get stuffed in a suitcase.
He's a little Frenchman.
Jesus Christ, man. Now you might have to just arrest me. I'm not going in no suitcase, man. You crazy.
Look, check this shit out.
Take my chances.
Wait a minute. Dude, there's a whole book written about it. It's called Boundless: The Rise, Fall, and Escape of Carlos Ghosn. Wow. Wait. Wait. Just so you guys think I'm not bullshit. Hold on. Let me do this. All right. Y'all see this, right? Ex-Nissan boss Carlos Ghosn. How I escaped Japan in a box. The fact that Carlos Ghosn nearly after 20 years at Nissan was totally blindsided by his arrest in Tokyo.
Is he French or is he
French.
Spaniard?
No, he's French, dude.
I mean, is his family from France or is his family from like Portugal or Spain or something like that?
I don't know where I'm not sure where his family's from, but wait, I'm trying to find I want to find something specific to what happened when he had the dip. They stuck him in a damn suitcase, bro. They smuggled him out. Okay, what is this here? Just so you guys see, man, how I escaped Japan in a box. Hold on one second. All right. Let me see here. This plane, okay. The plane was scheduled to take off at 11 p.m. Recalls Carlos. The 30 minutes waiting in the box on the plane, waiting for it to take off, was probably the longest wait I've ever experienced in my life. Now, for the time, the man who was once the boss of both Nissan and Renault has detailed his daring escape. In an exclusive interview with the BBC, Mr. Ghosn tells how he disguised himself to slip unnoticed through the streets of Tokyo, while a large music equipment box was chosen to smuggle him out of Japan, and the elation he felt when he finally landed in his native. Okay, he landed in Lebanon. That's where he's originally from. He's Lebanese. The thrill of that, finally, I'm going to be able to tell a story. Okay, Mr. Ghosn was arrested in November 2018 over allegations by Nissan. This is what I was telling you, Triz, right here. This is what I was telling you. Okay. Over allegations by Nissan that he had understated his annual salary and misused company funds, which he denies. So I'm saying there was funny money stuff going on. And he was in Japan. Here, I'll go ahead and get this and send it to you guys. And they just about scooped his ass up. Oh, wait. There he goes. I didn't know Triz was gone. We lost Triz, but Triz is back now. Okay, it's all into Stellantis. All right, well, let me wait for Triz to come back up. Okay, Stellantis. Wow. So that's the article there. With Senor Carlos escaping out of Japan in a box. Okay. So Triz dropped down. Okay, I'm gonna see if he's gonna come back up. If he does not, I will go ahead and we'll wrap this live stream up. We touched on the important stuff earlier. We kind of went off onto a tangent, which is cool. I don't care. Triz is the homie, right? We do that there, right? So I'll give him a couple minutes. If he pulls up, cool. If not, we'll go ahead and wrap things up. Stellantis is going to be bigger than Toyota and VW Group, maybe. I don't know. See, that's the thing, Zone. It's like what happens when you allow BYD into the US, right? What happens if you allow them to be able to do the kind of EV numbers they're doing over in Europe and shit? This is a bigger market here, potentially. Right, and then there's also a lot of commercial segments that they could exploit as well. I don't know. See, that's the thing, dude. We can only say that given that we don't have any Chinese manufacturers in the game here. But as soon as BYD has the ability to put some skin in the game, oh shit. Elon, okay, Triz is back. All right, there he goes. Yo.
Yeah, man, I had to go in through Bing.
Oh, you good, man. You good.
I was having some issues with Google, so I just entered through Bing, which is kind of crazy that I have to go through Bing.
All right, okay, no, we good. If you back up, we good. We can rock, dude.
Yeah, we good.
Okay. All right. Oh shit. Hey, Steph, what's going on, man? Oh, ma'am, what's going on? How you doing? Stephanie done pulled up. Okay.
She got a wife school, huh?
Yeah, she got a whole wife school, bro.
Okay, that's what's up.
Yeah, shout out to Stephanie and the Wife School podcast. All right. Yeah, man. So I don't know. It's sort of like actually what I was doing, I was addressing Zone. He said then it's gonna be bigger than Toyota and VW Group, maybe.
Well, I think the issue with these conglomerate groups is that they become so big that at least some of the manufacturers are going to suffer when you get that big. Mm-hmm. So like it may be like a particular brand, a nameplate that begins to get neglected, because what happens is they try to make it more efficient by minimizing their corporate structure. So they find a redundancy, like somebody may be head of design in this company and head of design in this company. And you say, well, we can just use one person as head of design for both of these particular companies. But they just find ways to streamline it. And what happens is that the company that loses whatever person in an attempt to make it more efficient, now that company suffers. So you end up with either, some type of chassis swap shenanigans, like what happened with GM back in the day, where they had Pontiac, Oldsmobile, Buick. They all were basically the same vehicles with just a little bit different changes in the sheet metal, maybe headlight or tail light difference or something like that.
Yeah, it was literally sheet metal. Yeah.
Yeah, and so
Female in the interior.
and so then you end up having the company's going to have to sell off their sell off the manufacturers that don't perform as well, so they end up shrinking back down. They grow big, they sell off, they shrink back down. Then some other company acquires the manufacturers that didn't do so well, and they grow bigger. And
But
so,
okay, there's a couple of things we got to address, right? So on that last live stream, right, we talked about. Well, actually, I didn't. I just kind of mentioned it. I didn't cover an article on it, but there was a study that came out was like a week or two ago, and it talked about how basically younger people are not getting driver's licenses. So if they're not getting driver's licenses, guess what? They're also not getting cars, right? See, so there's a trend because what we're also looking at here is the uptick, the market for e-bikes and e-scooters right now, and I can tell you this, dude, it's huge right now. And so that's the mode of transportation that they're opting for. So now you have to kind of question, okay, what does the either current or modern day car buyer look like, and what does the future car buyer look like?
mhm.
Okay, that seagull that you had up earlier.
Yes.
Okay, if you're talking about majority, like let's say lower income people or people that really just cannot afford a payment, you know, like let's just say they could do with insurance for a car. Let's just say like 150, 200 bucks a month or something, right? That's your buyer right there. And I'm going to tell you right now, there's a huge car buyer segment for something like this. It's the reason why every time you go to all the car dealers right now, right? If you're trying to find like a 4-cylinder, 4-door economy car that's 2 liters, right? 2-liter engine or lower. So like a 1.3, a 1.6, a 1.8, or a 2.0, right? All of those are extremely hard to find right now. Everybody's trading down, dude. Gas prices up, dude. Cali right now, shit's at what, 5? Okay, it's slated to potentially be 7 in some areas here by the time we get to July 4th. Because you already know, dude. As soon as you hit summertime, travel season, you already know what happens to gas prices are in Cali. You already know. Okay, did yours drop?
No, I'm here. I'm here.
Oh, okay.
I thought you were still talking, but
No, you got some input. Go ahead.
I think that we also have to look at cost of entry into the car market nowadays is significantly more. The average car note, I believe, has eclipsed $750 now, and I anticipate it going to $800 at some point in the very near future.
I mean, but for what type of car?
Well, I mean, look at the Toyota Tacoma. Like, if you want a Toyota Tacoma, the high end model, I was just looking at a Reddit post earlier this morning. They were talking about how much the new Toyota Tacoma is. So if you want like the top end model, it's about $70,000.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this is a top end model. This is like the fully optioned top end model, but still, to think that a Tacoma can be purchased for just north of $70,000 is unheard of.
Look,
for $70,000,
on that last live stream we did, dude, my boy Jamal literally brought up a Tacoma, and he was like, "Dude, I've seen Tacomas for like $70K," and I was like, "Excuse me?" He was like, "Bro, I'm not even bullshitting." He was like, "Dude, top of the line Tacoma, $70K," and I was like, "Dude, do you remember how much Tacomas used to cost?" And dude, he flipped his wig. He was like, "Bro, they used to be like 20."
Yeah, so I think that the thing about it is that with the Toyota Tacoma, especially in this particular area, the Toyota Tacoma itself is highly sought after because people are more outdoorsy. So you see the Toyota Tacomas, you see the Nissan, not Nissan Pathfinder, but the Toyota 4Runners. You see the Jeep Wranglers, and so these cars are pretty common out because everybody is outdoorsy. Like a lot of people that I work with have Toyota Tacomas.
Mm-hmm.
because you have especially not this particular model year, but like I want to say 2 model years or 2 model cycles ago, maybe 3 model cycles ago. There was a time when they were very affordable. Like you can get a used Toyota Tacoma at one time for under $10,000, maybe under $12,000 for a very nice condition Toyota Tacoma that was very capable. The engine was very simple, naturally aspirated, tried and true. Long life cycle out of those 6 cylinders. You can get easily $300,000, $400,000 hard driven miles, off-road, hard driven miles on stock internals.
Yeah. I mean, even like remember the Camrys and shit, the fucking like the mid 90s, like the 90s, 95, 96, 97 Camrys, bro.
You
like,
like
that's, dude, like I have a neighbor that has one, dude. Like them things, like some of them got like 500,000 miles, dude, 600,000 miles. Like it's just been serviced, alternators, starter, motors, shit like that been replaced, but the internals, the shit just keeps going. Now check this out. Stephanie has a point here. She said because they started redesigning even basic cars to mimic luxury cars. And they do that aesthetically, you're absolutely right, to increase the price because, there used to be where you go onto the lot, right? And you can go get you a basic Spartan ass pickup truck. Remember that? So now if you want your Toyota pickup truck, right? Your Toyota pickup truck, now it's got all the amenities and shit. And it's just like, remember when you used to go and just pick up a damn SR5? Right? It was a goddamn SR5 pickup truck with the goddamn manual tranny and the radio with no cassette. It used to be very basic, dude. You used to be able to get that shit. Now, yeah, everything comes with all the amenities and stuff. See, so the cost is like already built in. You can't even negotiate the cost out of the shit. You can't tell them, oh, you know what? I don't need all this. I don't need this. I don't need that. So I remember what it was like to buy cars back in the day and stuff. It was like you could have it kind of bare minimum stripped, and then you wanted to go up, you could, but it's like now it's just like, yeah, this is it. This is it right here. She said you had to roll down. Yeah, literally, you had to roll down the windows.
Yeah, roll down the windows.
You had to literally roll the motherfuckers down.
Yeah, I remember the roll down. You can't find a roll down window vehicle unless you buy a commercial vehicle.
No, seriously, that's what I'm talking about, dude. It's like if you want vehicles literally like kind of bare bones nowadays, it's commercial.
Or you have to get one from overseas that's older. You can't buy a new one. They got new ones overseas that are like bare bones, like some especially like in developing countries like Dominican Republic, Brazil, a lot of countries, that are on a lower end of the socioeconomic scale have these entry level. Even in Germany, you can buy a Mercedes with cloth seats. Really? you can't do that in America. I mean, Mercedes is more ubiquitous in Germany, obviously, but they do have entry level. Like there was I don't know about now, but I remember when I was in Germany, you can get a 5 Series BMW or E-Class Benz with the manual transmission.
With the manual?
With the manual. Now, before I got there, so I want to say I missed it by about 3 years. Mm-hmm. So that would be so maybe like around maybe 2003, you can get a 7 Series BMW with a manual transmission.
A 7 Series with a
manual transmission in Germany.
What is that? Was it like a Hewland or a Getrag?
I don't know which transmission it was, but there was.
Damn, a manual and a 7 Series.
A manual and a 7 Series. You still get a 7 Series. Because it was an entry. Because they had what you would consider entry level models for those particular classes of vehicles. Mm-hmm. Because we think of it as a luxury, but in Germany, it's a full-size car. And believe it or not, you know, the 7 Series really isn't that practical in Europe because of parking.
Well, but see, here's the thing. I can understand why they wouldn't send the 7 Series with a manual over here, just because you just have the potential for just stock that just sit right. People like they go to the dealer, they look for a 7 Series. They're not looking, fucking stick shifted. You know
They're
what I'm saying?
luxury. They're looking at it as a luxury.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. That's just I don't think the manual would fit this market.
Yeah, but there's a lot of vehicles that, like for instance, Toyota. Now Toyota has a truck that's about $10,000. I can't remember which country it's in. I want to say it's in the Philippines.
You're right. They do. They have a truck.
Is it in the Philippines, that Toyota truck? Toyota. Let me see. Toyota.
Where they said they have a $10,000 truck they're exporting.
Yeah, let me see where that truck is.
I don't know where they're exporting it to.
Yeah, it's $10,000. So basically, it's called Toyota Land Cruiser 70 Series. Mm-hmm. Obviously, it's not like what we consider to be a Land Cruiser, but it's a Land Cruiser 70 Series.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's like a pickup, right? It's like a small pickup truck.
Yeah, it's like a pickup truck, and
yeah, I know
it's definitely not a looker. Now let's be clear.
No, it's a
$10,000 truck in every sense of the word. Believe me.
Remember, dude. Like, okay, bro. That's what the remember the Nissan Mini trucks, the Toyota SR5s, the Ford Rangers, the Mazda. Dude, I had a B2500, dude.
I remember that. You can still buy those. They're still good trucks.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you right now, in Cali, they're kind of hard to find, bro. Like everybody, dude, you got a 4-cylinder small pickup truck from like the late 90s or early 2000s. Holy shit, dude! Everybody's snatching them shits up right now, bro. They're getting hard to find. I'm not even gonna lie. Steph, she said, I used to work at a car auction. Foreigners bought boatload cars to export them, so maybe that's where some of the basic cars went. Steph, I don't know if you remember, they had this program called Cash for Clunkers.
I remember that. Yep.
Okay. So Stephanie, if you remember that Cash for Clunkers program, that was one of Obama's kind of signature programs from his first administration. This is the reason why I hated that program, dude. All of like the old like Dodge Neon SR4Ts, all the Honda Civics. So if you want to know where all like the old Honda Civics, Integras, all that, you want to know where all that shit went, people, they turned them into Cash for Clunkers and got newer cars that ended up being pieces of crap. But this is the reason why you can't find older shit anymore. So a lot of cars actually got destroyed because of Cash for Clunkers. But the importing exporting part, that totally is the case too, because there's guys on YouTube that are flipping. They're doing the flip game, which you're talking about right there. So some of the guys, they're savvy with it. They're doing exactly what you're talking about. But Cash for Clunkers, that's what destroyed all them old cars. That's what I hate. Yeah, exactly, Zone. Thank you, bro. Thank you. Shit. Thank you. Here, I'm gonna put this one back up. Because that is the ultimate truth right there. All the cold cars, man, gone. Like Cash for Clunkers crap. And that's the $10,000 truck right there, bro.
That's it. So, it's definitely just strictly utilitarian. It's not like something that looks good at all.
Dude, it cost $10,000.
Yeah, you get what you pay for. But the thing about it is that at that price point, to have the reliability of Toyota, the bulletproof what we've come to know as bulletproof Toyota reliability. I mean, because you can keep that truck conceivably 30 years.
Yeah. Well, dude, that's what you used to do with Toyotas.
So think about this.
There's dudes that still got Toyotas, man, from like the late 60s, early 70s. They still to this day just boning out, rolling around in them, dude.
At $10,000, I will buy 2 of those trucks and then have one drain the engine and take off the wheels and just have it stored somewhere, like in the backyard or something. And then or in the garage, cover it up, and then when another one wear out, then I just pop that one up, because at $10,000, it's almost like a throwaway utensil.
Man, but let me tell you something, dude. Like at $10,000, if it's Toyota, I'm telling you, they're going back to their roots of making. Remember, like I said, the Toyota SR5. You had dudes rolling around 350,000 fucking miles on these things.
Yeah.
Okay. They didn't pay, back then they paid the equivalent of $10,000 for this shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. $10,000 pickup truck, no frills. I don't need all the bells and whistles, the stuff that Stephanie was talking about. I don't need all that. It's utility. What happened to the fucking cheap utility vehicle? Why did it have to become all this other shit?
Well, I think that people begin to get away from certain lifestyles, moving into the corporate sector, moving into office jobs. And so they no longer needed the utility of, say, a pickup truck.
Wait, Strunz. He said you can get your DoorDash and subcontracting off for $10K straight profit. Bruh.
And with a pickup truck, you're not even doing DoorDash anymore. You're doing actual delivery, making real money.
You're doing, doesn't Uber have like a commercial delivery type of joint?
You can deliver medical supplies with that,
Yeah, that's the exact.
What they really need is a $10,000 van or like a $15,000 van.
Why can't that be okay, they take the bed off. Why can't that just be a box?
Or no, but see, you want a van where you can actually have you want a pass through between the driver and passenger seat, and you want a wider profile. So you really want the vehicle to at least be maybe 6.5 feet wide, maybe 7 feet wide,
like a Sprinter,
like something like a Sprinter, but with standing height. Because that's another thing you want standing for just efficiency, something that's standing height so you can like pass through between the driver and the passenger seat and access the cargo area in the back of the vehicle and stand up and do it. Because that will create a perfect platform for people who want to then convert it into like you can either have like a cargo type, passenger type, or you can convert it into some type of like a off-road what you would consider.
Pull that picture back up.
The
Toyota, the pickup.
That right there.
Yeah. Okay. Could you do? Okay, I see what you're saying. Because like the Sprinter van, like the cab is a little bit more forward, so there's more cargo space, and then
the cab is more cargo space. The actual height, the height of it is taller.
Yeah, it's taller. Okay.
Yeah, so it's really no replacement for it. But now at this price point, now see what I would do if I was Toyota, I would take this because even with this particular chassis, you can integrate a camper shell on this and have a cheap entry level, like what you would consider recreational vehicle. But there's a specific genre of recreational vehicle that calls for 4-wheel drive.
You're talking about like Overlander.
Overlander.
Yeah.
Imagine an Overlander.
Dude, I'm making an Overlander scooter. No bullshit. I'm dead ass, dude. Like, the Overlander scooter.
Can you sleep on it?
It goes on the back of the truck, bro.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. An Overlander. So you're talking about like an Overlander vehicle. And then you have like a sub vehicle, like a scooter, like that's like kind of decked out for some Overlander shit. that goes onto that. Like it would literally, there's like a bracket or some shit or a mount on the side. You see like you see like the side of that bed right there, and
Yeah.
then there's like you could literally like just pop a scooter onto the side of that shit, and it'll just hold it. So you got like another vehicle and shit, and then there's like maybe like an inverter or some sort of like solar component, and then you could just it's like the scooter. You could charge it off the truck and stuff like that. Yeah, we're talking Overlander, bro.
Or I mean, you could if there's some type of where you can use like an engine as some type of power source, like a obviously you would be able to have the what's the word I'm looking for, the little cigarette lighter adapters.
Yeah, well, you want to go. What you're talking about is there's a way to wire that because I know you're talking about using the motor as a generator, but
Well, I'm talking about like say for instance,
you're gonna need more than that. This was like a 12 volt.
well, I would say like while you're driving, like you when you hook it onto the actual side of the truck, it plugs in so it's charging while you're driving. So you're not running the engine unnecessarily. It's only running while you're driving anyway. You see what I'm saying? And then you basically divert some of the power generated from the alternator to charge the electric scooter while you're driving to your destination. So once you get to your destination, your scooter is fully charged.
You can do that now.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Something like that.
Yeah, you could do. You could do that now. Especially with the hybrid cars, right? Because they have an onboard inverter.
Well, if you're talking about like a hydrogen fuel cell, they're already going to be have a.
Well, they're going to already have an inverter on board.
Yeah,
that's what you need. You need an inverter to do what you're talking about.
Yeah. But see, I think this would be a perfect platform for an Overlander because it already comes in at a low price point. So if you actually convert it,
you decked it
into an Overlander, you can have an Overlander potentially under $30,000. I was
gonna say, if you put $20K into that, bro, you'd have like a stupid ass Overlander.
Because think about it, the cheapest Overlander, like brand new, is probably gonna cost you about at least $150,000.
I'm about to say them things are stupid. The cost of them.
Yeah. $150,000 for like a bare bones triple model. A nice one's gonna run you about at least $200.
Oh wait, what kind?
A nice Overlander.
But what was
the cheapest is going to be about $200 for a brand new one.
But what did you like? Did you say a brand though?
No, a brand new Overlander.
Oh, brand new. Okay, because I was like, yeah, because I've seen like the full size Sprinter joints that have been kitted out where they got like the fucking ladder on the back and shit, the racks, and like I've seen those. The Econo van Overlander.
They got some Fuso based Sprinters. I mean, Fuso based Overlanders.
What?
They have Fuso Overlanders with a big box 4-wheel drive. Like they look like something like a
the car rally trucks.
Yes, and they're like 600,000. They're like 600,000. They cost an arm and a leg.
Okay, Steph said her Ford can still charge while the car is off. I mean, or charge the phone while the car is off. Okay.
Yeah, some of the newer vehicles have what you consider a hot plug, where even when the vehicle is off, it still charges them to a certain point. Though I think they have an automatic cutoff when the battery dips below a certain voltage or a certain amount of capacity. It'll cut off so it won't drain your battery.
Yeah, because I done messed around and literally drain my battery like fucking around with my phone truck. I was like, are you for real? And my phone like literally drained the battery on my car. Like, what the hell?
See, I got a hot plug on my 4Runner in the back. So like if you open up the tailgate, there's an actual like a 3-prong plug.
Yeah.
That you can plug in a 3-prong, and it has I think it has like a cigarette lighter adapter too that you can plug in so you can use it while you're like parked.
See, that's the thing. You have an onboard inverter because that's a 110. If it's a 3-prong, that's a 110.
Yeah, it's a 110.
So you got a 110 and then you got a 12. That's why I was like, if you got a 110, okay, then you're working with something.
Yeah, I use the 110 because I bought a Dyson Airblade fan from somebody, and I plugged it into my truck to test it out because I bought it off of Facebook Marketplace. It
Oh,
came
you
in
pulled
handy.
up on it, like, hold on, let me test this real
Let me
quick.
test it. Let me
It
test this
was
bad
like,
boy out.
is this nigga serious? Like, he about to
Yo,
play?
you know what got me though? so then the guy was gonna there's an Asian guy. This is kind of off topic, but man, he sold to me, and I'm like, yo, where's the remote at? He's like, oh, the remote, that's gonna be $20 extra.
Oh, get out.
I said, man, if you don't give me that damn
why?
yeah, you gonna try to once he got me over there, he's like gonna try to upsell me a little bit. Like,
He gonna upsell you on the remote. Wait. But what if he tried to upsell you on the batteries, dude? Then we would have been scrapping.
Well, it didn't come with a battery. It was like just a plug-in. It was a plug-in AirBlade.
Like, I'm talking about the remote, dude. What if he would have told you, oh, the batteries are extra? I'd have been like, man, motherfucker. Hey, but look, man, we coming up on 12:30, man. My little one, man, she's like, hey, are you done? So let me shut it down here, man.
Yeah, we're popping up with y'all, man.
Oh, dude, you come on, man. You already know. Oh, by the way, horology. We got to do it.
Yeah, we talked about that on the phone.
That's what I'm saying. Like, that's what I'm saying, dude. We gotta. When do you want to? Tomorrow, like we got the micromobility, and then me and Rael. No, wait, Monday. I think me and Ren we're gonna do that one, and then tomorrow me and Rael are gonna do. We're gonna do the Black Intelligentsia. So anytime, like, well, let me see. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, dude. Those are gonna be the best days for us to get a live stream cracking.
Yeah, we're gonna have to work.
Yeah, let's get the horology shit popping.
Yeah, we definitely got to get that popping, man, because it's a lot of stuff.
Yeah, you gotta get us up to speed, man. Because
man, you know, Rolex then dropped the platinum. They got a Patek Philippe competitor, man, and they going hard in the paint.
Okay.
So this is like big. Rolex is trying to step their game up because, you know, basically just the demand for Rolex has kind of pushed them a little bit up market. You know what I'm saying? So it's their opportunity to kind of infringe on, you know, Audemars and Patek, which is their, you know, I wouldn't say they're really competitors because they occupy different niches. Generally, somebody who's shopping for Audemars isn't cross shopping for a Rolex. They probably already got Rolexes.
Right.
If you have an Audemars, you probably already got like 5 Rolexes at least. Patek, you probably already had then had 10 Rolexes and a couple Audemars by the time you get to Patek. So, but anyways, yeah, it's a lot to talk about.
Hey, real quick, I got one other thing I want to ask you about that. So let's just table that and this too. I want to get your thoughts on the smartwatch.
Which one?
Just as a piece, like,
well,
in addition, like okay, based on like traditional watches with traditional movements and all that kind of stuff versus a smartwatch, right? Like, I want to kind of get your view on the two pros, cons, collectability, right? Because I'm not really sure like smartwatches have like a collectability factor.
Well, I'll say this, right? So,
but say this, but save it for the horology, and then we'll plan it. We'll schedule.
Okay, so I'll plan this.
Okay.
So we'll just use an analogy, almost like, you know, a vehicle, right? So let's say you have 2 vehicles, right? And you may have, say for instance, you may have a Prius, or even like, let's just say you have a Tesla, right? And you use your Tesla to go to work, you know, during the week. But on the weekends, you may pull out the Porsche. Now, the Tesla obviously is automatic transmission. There's 1, maybe 2 speeds for, you know, you don't have to shift or anything. It's an electric vehicle, you know, brushless motor. So the power delivery is very linear. It's just a different experience, driving experience altogether. You're not driving it necessarily for the experience. You're driving it for the utilitarian factor. It's rechargeable. You just plug it in. You go to work. You park. You get right in. You don't have to start up the car. It just basically turn on the car and just start driving away. And it's more or less it's very efficient. You have the large screen to access while you're driving, and you're doing it for utilitarian, just to get you from point A to point B, but you want to do it kind of in style, right?
Mhm.
Versus on the weekends, you have a car that's more engaging. Maybe you have a manual transmission course. So you're driving it for the driving experience per se. And it's a totally different type of dynamic between yourself, the end user, and the vehicle, the consumer product itself.
Right.
Because when you're buying a mechanical watch, you're buying it not because it's the most efficient form of timekeeping.
No.
You're not buying it because it's
Not
the easiest to read.
Right.
A smartwatch is significantly easier to read than an analog mechanical watch.
Gotcha.
Your cell phone, everybody has a cell phone. Your cell phone has large font time on it every time you pick it up, right? So I'm looking at my iPhone right now. I mean, it's always next to me. So when you're buying a mechanical watch, it's form over function.
Function, yes. And see, and now that is one of these scenarios where I will go with form over function.
Yeah, but it's not something like now depending on the job that you're in, right? So let's just say you're going out, during your grocery store runs, and you have the additional functionality of the smartwatch because the smartwatch itself has additional functionality. You can, track your steps, you can check your heart rate and things like that. And maybe you want to keep your phone in your pocket, especially like say for instance, you're going overseas somewhere, right? And you don't want your phone to get stolen, so you pack your phone for all the passport bros out there. I'm giving you.
Wait. That's still a thing.
I guess so. Whatever, right? That's a whole nother discussion.
Go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
But like, if you're a passport bro, you have your phone and you have it somewhere inside where you can't be accessed from outside for pickpockets. Like if you're going like certain city, like if you're going like to Mexico City, you're going to Manila. These are very, very dense urban areas where there's like, I know Mexico City, the pickpockets is everywhere, right? Damn. So you want to have your phone where it can't be reached. So you have your little watch on, whatever, right? And you can access all your functionality. You can even text, from your wrist. You can accept phone calls from your wrist. You never have to pull your phone out, right? Because you pull that phone out, somebody's watching. They may snatch it from you.
Man,
you know what I'm saying? So there's additional functionality
on and popping from there, bro.
Yeah.
Like, yo, hands off, fam. What you doing?
Yeah, the smartwatch. I'm an advocate for the mechanical watch just because I appreciate the intricacies of micro mechanics of watches. But there is a place for smartwatches. Make no mistake about it.
No, and that's the thing, man. Because like the smartwatch shit, I'm still stuck on my old little I don't want to say my old little, but I got my Swiss Army joint, and I just need to like put a new battery in it, and just I don't know what I need. I think that maybe that's all I need, but damn, dude, some of these watches be looking butterific, dude. And I want to say Mike was fucking with a Tag Heuer.
Yeah, you talking about that? Tag Heuer smartwatch. Me and him talked about.
Yeah, if you remember.
Yeah.
And I just posted Triz. I just posted the last live stream we did. But that was episode 618. What's the time? That was the last one. Yeah, you and I did. I just posted that there for those of y'all that want to know Triz's SME, right? When he's a subject matter expert on multitude of things, but horology, yo, you gotta fuck with him. Seriously.
Yeah.
So I just posted it there. That was the last one we did. So damn, bro, it's been a minute. Yeah, we need to run it back.
For sure.
Yep. All right, man. Last words, bro.
Man, you got it, man. I'm just glad to be up here with the extended family from Black Brain Trust, man.
And you know what it is, dude. Day one.
Man.
Come on, man. Day one. Steph said you used to pass down watches back in the day as heirlooms. Now we don't care. You know what, Trish? Do you want to say something about that?
Well, the entire ethos behind Patek is that the watch is like you are almost like a how can I put this? Not caregiver, but you're like almost like a protector of the watch.
Yes.
Like once you actually purchase that Patek watch, you are the protector, and each successive generation has the responsibility of safekeeping of that watch. It's like if you go to the Patek website and you actually just read through it and you'll see exactly, you know, what that watch is supposed to signify. It really has meaning, because like I said before, you know, we don't need watches for timekeeping anymore. So
No.
when you buy a watch, particularly an expensive mechanical watch, analog watch, whether it be an automatic or manual wind,
Hmm.
you're buying it to make a statement.
Yeah, it's engineering. It's there's a lot of intrinsic things. It's like people who will buy like a Ferraris, Porsches,
Yeah.
right? It's kind of like that mindset, right?
No, not kind of. It is like
But
it,
it
because
is.
the
It
watches
is.
need maintenance just like vehicles do. You got to take it in the
Exactly. You
watch
gotta
has to be serviced. It has to be cleaned. They got to open up the
bound.
watch. They got to replace certain components that get worn out. There's like a spring that uses,
Yeah.
basically it's like a kinetic energy. The energy is stored in a spring, right? And that spring gradually you basically wind it, whether it be manual or some type of automatic movement, and it winds that spring, which stores kinetic energy, and it gradually releases that kinetic energy, which gives the watch its ability to keep time
Right.
for the components to move. So that's essentially, in a nutshell, how a mechanical watch works. A mechanical could mean a manual wind or automatic watch, but basically just a watch that doesn't use a battery, right? And
Um.
so because of that, because there's mechanics involved in that watch, these parts wear out. And then if you're doing something very rigorous, like maybe you're playing like baseball or something like that, or you have like a job, maybe you're a drummer, right? And that constant motion and vibration can disrupt some of the mechanical parts inside, which
Isn't it
have some durability, but
what is
after a
it
while they
the
need to be fixed.
Well, there's the what's it the little what do they call it? It's like the little rotor thing.
Yeah, the
So
rotor. Yeah, the rotor. That's
the
that's for
rotor.
automatic
So when
watch.
you move, what it does is it spins. When it spins, it actually. So that's the reason why it doesn't need a battery, because your natural movement will spin the rotor, and the rotor spinning spins the spring.
Yes. That's an automatic watch. So you have what's called an automatic
Automatic.
watch,
Yes.
which
Yeah.
uses the rotor. Now, Patek, a lot of Pateks have like a micro rotor, which is really fascinating. It doesn't even use a big rotor; it uses like a really small rotor. But that small rotor is sufficient. I mean, these watches, the engineering on these watches is just amazing.
I
If you
mean,
really open up these
dude.
watches and see.
Triz, also, hey, let me do this before we get off, because dude, I did a live stream on automatas, right? Clockwork robots. So these were robots that used clockwork mechanics.
As an energy source.
Yes, are you familiar with this?
Well, I mean, I've never heard of that before, because something that, I mean, so what is this, like conceptual, or was this like a book or something
No,
like that?
this is like some shit where they use the same engineering concepts that you use for like mechanical watches to make
Uh-huh.
robots, dude. It was clockwork mechanics. Springs, um, cams, and shit like that. Like it's the same
But
engineering mechanisms, but they made robots with it as opposed to watches. But
now,
dude,
see, okay, because like, well, here's my thing. These automatic and mechanical watches require kinetic energy, right?
mhm.
But the kinetic energy is transferred from you as the user, whether
Yes,
it be the motion of your wrist as an automatic movement, or you manually wind, because some of these watches are manual wind, where you actually pull out the crown and you turn the crown in a
turn the
specific
crown and it
direction.
spins the spring, right? It
Yes.
winds the spring up.
So who winds up the robots?
It's the same thing, dude.
Oh, so
You
somebody
want
winds them up. Okay,
Yeah,
okay,
dude, they're like
okay.
they have springs and shit. That's what I'm saying. It's the same mechanisms, but just scale it up.
That's now that would be something I would be interested in.
Here, I'm posting it right now. Hold on.
Yeah, that
That's why I was
sounds
like,
pretty.
dude, I forgot to fucking send this to you. That's the one. Because dude, it was the clock makers of the day that were making this shit. That's why I was like, bro, like I forgot to fucking send this to you. because it was actually like the clockmakers and all that kind of shit of the day. They were the ones that were using the technology that we're using on a small scale on a watch that you put on your wrist. But
Mm.
let's say if you scale up the cam and the gear mechanisms and the spring mechanisms and all this type of stuff, next thing you know, you got a fucking robot. And the thumbnail that I use for that live stream, it's a black robot. But that's a whole other conversation. Yeah,
But I
right,
guess
right, right, Stephanie. Wow. Yeah, exactly.
I guess the question would be what is the case
Bro,
scenario
they're
for
these robots for serving people tea and shit, dude. It's crazy, dude. They look that live stream. I showed various automatons, dude. One of them wrote like poems in like 2 different languages, and then drew like 4 or 5 different pictures, and then also told you who made the robot, bro. It's like crazy shit. You
well,
do realize,
think
but
about it though, right? They have wristwatches now, and we had talked about this on a previous horology stream,
yeah,
where the watches are so complicated, they can tell the date, the time, the
time,
phase of the moon, like it can tell you the position of the stars in the solar,
zodiac,
like all this stuff, like off
yes.
of mechanics. There's no digital, there's no computer chip or anything like that. It's all based on mechanics in there
Mechanics, yes, dude. And look, that's
and
in a fucking
mathematics. This is
watch.
like advanced engineering right here,
Check that out. That's in a watch.
Yeah,
What if you scaled it up into something larger
exactly.
using the same engineering philosophy, right? That's where you get into the automata shit. That's why I was like, bro, you need to check this out, because they literally in there they talked about it was the watchmakers, right? It was the watchmakers who basically made bigger devices with the same technology. They were making these extremely intricate, small, like very sophisticated watches. So if you could do it extremely, dude, I would argue that it's harder to do it on a small scale than a bigger one, because
Well, as it gets bigger,
uh-huh.
the metrics for performance get bigger as well.
think
So
about
now the
think about
expectations are,
think
well,
about
it's
the
going to have an
intricacies
increased
of the gear.
functionality at a larger
But think
size.
about the gear cogging on dude, in a watch, right?
Yeah, that's true.
The spring, the tensile spring strength, right? Think about how thin you seen somebody break down a Rolex watch, right?
Yes,
And you
yes,
see how thin that spring band is,
yeah.
dude. Okay, you have to spec out that amount of metal wire and and wind it in such a way to get the amount of tension, right, for energy release, bro. It's like on a small scale in a watch. Do you realize how hard that shit, dude? When you're talking about bigger components, bigger things, it's easier. Like the eyes can see the gear cogs better and all that kind of shit. When you're talking about in a watch, bruh.
But see, the thing about what I'm saying is, though,
Mhm.
as you scale up, the metrics of performance scale up as well because their
Yes,
expectation is greater. You have something bigger. Say, for instance, you said the automatons could draw, between 5 and 6
they
pictures.
can drive.
Just that
Yeah.
alone,
Mhm.
is kind of crazy if you really think about it.
Yeah.
To be able to draw 5 distinct pictures.
But
As a human, think about the motor coordination necessary. But then to be
right.
able to program, not necessarily, I'm thinking program, but to engineer that into a series of gears,
Mhm.
springs, and coils to do it
Right.
consistently.
But wait. Okay. Let's go back to, okay. You said there was a watch. Okay. Well, how many functions did it have? How many
Well,
how many different movements did it have? It was
I could look
time.
it up now. What's the Patek
Let's see. It was time.
most complicated?
Moon phase. Let me see. Time, moon phase. What was the one?
I'm about to tell you right
Uh,
now.
okay. So listen.
Okay, less cabinetiers, Berkeley Grand Complication, 63 separate complication is made from 2,000 877 components and weighs
Dude,
2 pounds.
hold on. How many complications?
63.
Bruh.
Vacheron Constantine.
That is,
So, matter of fact, let me try to see what the
dude, in a watch?
In a watch.
63 complications?
63.
Bruh. These automatons wouldn't even do 63 different separate fucking tasks or anything. Hey, hold on. We can keep rocking. Fuck it. Hey, just give me a second. I'm gonna go run to the bathroom real quick.
Okay.
Good. While you look that up, give me a second.
I'm trying to look this up right now. Vacheron Constantine. Grand complication. Yeah, so this watch has a Chinese perpetual calendar, zodiac signs. Let's see what else it has. Gregorian calendar, sky chart, age of the moon. Matter of fact, let me see if I can share this screen for a second. There we go. So this is the more like a pocket watch. Now they have smaller scale wristwatches that don't have as many complications, obviously, because the wristwatch has to be worn on the wrist. So that obviously has to be smaller, but this is just an example of what's possible with just mere mechanics. And this is obviously not the most practical way to keep all of these functions. You can easily have all of these functions in your smartphone. And the actual functions will be a lot more legible because it'll be larger. You can switch between each one. But this particular piece of mechanics keeps all of these functions simultaneously. This is the pinnacle, as it says, pinnacle of high watchmaking. Took 11 years to develop this. Chinese calendar, New Year date. So it displays the exact date of the Chinese New Year, which changes. So, for instance, like there's 365 days, obviously, in a year, with the leap year occurring every 4 years. This is based on the rotation or the orbit around the sun. And then you have the days themselves are about 23 hours and 59 minutes and whatever seconds long, or 58 minutes, whatever seconds long. So they're not exactly 24 hours, but we have a 24-hour watch. And so there's this variance accumulates over time. And so you have to kind of course correct every couple of years. And so you have watches that can take that into account. So if I have something like this, 10 years from now, it will still be provided you keep it wound. Like you have to, these watches require manual winding.
Let me, there you go. All right, go ahead.
Yeah, these watches require manual winding. If you don't wind this watch, it's so complicated, it has to be taken back to the watchmaker to recalibrate all the separate complications. So this is this is not a casual watch person. This is somebody who's serious about watches and who's going to take the time to maintain his watch. Part of the maintenance of the watch is making sure that it stays wound at all times. Because if it goes out, it's 63 different complications. Each one of those complications has to be set separately, but then be put in sync with the other complications. So it has to go back to the actual manufacturer to get it right. This is not something like even like people who have simpler watches that maybe have like 4 or 5 complications on it. Man, if they let that watch go unwound, they got to take it back to Patek. They got to take it back to Vacheron, take it back to Audemars, and have it reset. And that could cost several $100s just to do that. But as you can see, this particular watch, as I was saying, has the Chinese calendar. It keeps the Chinese New Year. You got all the zodiac signs, so it displays the correct zodiac sign depending on what month it is. The Gregorian calendar, right? We got the sky chart, so that this way you know exactly what constellation should be displayed in the sky.
Wait a minute, dude. Okay, I got something to show you after this. Like I said, fuck it. We're already on this. Let's go. All right. Yeah, go ahead.
And then you have the age of the moon, right? Moon phases.
So that's what I'm saying. See, so these are all the various complications, right? You got that little thing there. That's
and then you can set an alarm. So this you can
There's
set
an alarm on this.
It's like a bell. It's not a digital alarm. It's like an actual
like a bell alarm on.
Yeah. You set an alarm.
There's a little tiny bell in this.
Yeah. And they chime. And they have like different like jingles. Like it's not like a regular,
So wait a minute. So now what you have is different sort of bell cones, and then you can change which one gets triggered. Bro, this is just like the fucking automata robots, bro. I shit you not. They use the same technology.
Then you have a tourbillon.
Tourbillon, yes.
Chronograph, split second. The split second chronograph is really complicated, but you have a split second chronograph as well, so you can time 2 different people at the same time. And this is stuff that you're never gonna. If you have this watch, I guarantee you'll never use the split second chronograph or the regular. You'll never use it. But just to know that you have it and know that it's almost like a bragging right. Like
it has the feature. There's cars that have features that you typically never use.
Then you got world time, so you got different time zones. You got world time in there.
Then there's the moon phase right there, up there.
Yep.
Right there. Right.
And then you look down. Look at the intricacy. This is inside.
Now is it what do they call it when you can see the back? What do they call that shit?
A display. It's display case back.
Display case back. So is this one display case back?
I'm not sure if this is a display case back or like one of the I forgot what it's called, where you actually open up the back. It has like a little door that you open it up.
Okay.
Because you got the one that has the sapphire crystal in the back that you see see at all times. You have the one that you actually open up.
Yeah.
I think generally a watch of this caliber is probably going to be the one that you actually open up to look at the internals. But
wow. Okay.
I mean, but as you can see, like they've engraved stuff that you're not even going to look at. That's the level of attention to detail that separates these watches from, say, like a Longines or a Tissot or even a Rolex.
No shit, really?
Yeah,
even
like
from them?
Yeah, like this is like a different level. And as you can see, a lot of these components are precious metal. The internal components themselves some of them are precious metal.
Yeah.
So this is an example of a highly complicated watch, not practical in any sense of the imagination. Like
no,
there's no reason to have this watch other than you love watches.
No, the practicality is really dependent upon. It's really kind of dependent upon your level of sophistication of timekeeping and functionality, right? I was gonna show this right here, bro.
Go ahead.
Check this out. The Antikythera mechanism.
Let's talk about that.
All right, so it basically worked on the same principle, bro. It's clockwork. Now they show a salvaged version of it, but there's actually different working models of the same thing, right?
And so
yeah,
tell me about what the functionality of this particular mechanism is.
So essentially what it was essentially like a handheld computer. It's like a laptop.
Oh, wow, wow. Okay, okay,
See,
okay.
so I'll go ahead and just read this part here. Let's see. The Antikythera mechanism, let's see, is described as the oldest known example of an analog computer used to predict astronomical positions and eclipses decades in advance.
Oh, I've heard of this before. I've heard of this before.
Yeah,
I
that's
think
what I
that's what
was.
it's
That's
called.
what I was
Yeah.
showing you. Yeah, what this is. There's other working models of it, but I just wanted to kind of cover this. It utilized the same engineering thought processes in terms of clockwork and gear mechanisms. Right. So here, I'll just drop this here. This is the reason why the same type of technology that we're talking about was able to also create robots. Right. So we'll do this, man. We'll go up onto 3 hours, man. Then we'll go ahead and we'll call it one because we actually gonna have to save some shit for that next horology talk, man. Because yeah, we got a lot to catch up on, man. 'Cause I forgot to send you that one, the Automata live stream with the clockwork robots.
So essentially, what we're looking at when we're talking about watches and the automaton, this is essentially just engineering.
Yes.
You're basically looking at a specific gear ratio and like combining different gear ratios to like
Yeah.
have a specific interval,
Yeah.
right?
You're
And so
using.
these
You're
different
literally
intervals
using.
can create different functions.
Yeah, you're using calculations. So for example, if what you're trying to do is calculate the ratio of rotations between the sun and the moon, for example, right? You need to actually then that has to be represented in two gears, two gear sets that interact with each other, and the amount of cogs and the pitch on the cogs and everything have to reflect the actual distance in terms of movement. So what you're doing is once again you're scaling it down. So
Yeah,
if you're talking about um if you're talking about like let's just say like square miles or in terms of diameter in terms of miles, what you have to then do is use what form of I think it was it trig or I'm trying to remember what form of mathematics you would use to then reduce that ratio down into something like that's of a specific size. So what I need is I need two gears to represent a larger movement, but these are the confines in which these gears are going to have to operate. So what are the diameters of these gears? What are the cogs? What are the pitches? Right, so that I most accurately get the same movement. And then that's when you were talking about when the watch has to go to the maker and they have to calibrate it all. It's
yeah.
calibrate all the movements back to like specific points, and then they push the pin back in and they turn the thing back on, and then boom, right? But there's base calculations, and then those calculations are then translated into like gears and cogs. Now in the automatas, what these things were cams. They were cams and levers and spring actuators. Those mechanisms are still those are all in the watches too. They're just more prevalent in terms of cams and shit like that in the automatas as opposed to like gears. There were gears and stuff certain for certain components and for certain movements, right? But cams were needed because cams were a very rudimentary form of putting an algorithm, right? If you were to manually put an algorithm into a machine to where it is going to do a variance of activities based on a set of conditions, the way you would do that is you would use a set of cams.
Hmm.
Okay. Um, those types of mechanisms are in watches, but because it's more what they call clockwork, right? Where it's all rotational, there's more gears and shit present in watches. That's why the watches, dude, it's just stack and stack and stack and stack and stack of gear after gear after gear. They're all stacked.
but then the cams themselves, is easier to integrate multiple inputs into one input.
Yeah, because you can change cams out.
Versus a gear is easier to extrapolate multiple outputs from one input.
But it's fixed.
Yes. Yeah.
That's the difference, right?
Yeah.
With the cams, you can like with the that was the thing about the automatons and shit, dude. And dude, the science behind how you encode a movement algorithm into a set of cams and then you use levers, bro, that is a science that I at some point in the somewhat distant future, I'm gonna take it upon myself to learn this shit, right? I'm gonna take it upon myself to actually learn how the fuck they did that because it's amazing to me. That's why I want you to check out that Automata live stream, dude.
Yeah.
Because it was the clockwork, it was the clockmakers of the day. They just think about like a automaker, and then what they do is they'll make like a race car. They have like a race team and shit, and then all their like crazy ass technology ideas and stuff, they'll put it into a race car, and then they go racing with it. Okay, so the clockmakers of the day were making automatons and shit with the same thought or notion in mind. So, dude, check that shit out, and I'll text you some other live streams on some automata. It's fucking crazy, bro. And it was the watchmakers who were doing it.
Yeah, man. I'm telling you, like that's people like, you know, people who are not into watches, they just can't appreciate like why, like what's the interest in them and like what's the big deal. It's almost like I said before, it's really just an appreciation of the craftsmanship, the artistry,
Dude, these
the
are
engineering.
these are your proto like computer programmers.
Yeah.
Okay? It's deeper. It's deeper. It's yeah.
And it's a very, very hands-on, like, so it's a combination of STEM and a trade.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you're a tradesman, like to actually make watches, you're making the components, because a lot of these high-end watches are handmade.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, like you have some mass-produced watches, like pretty much anything from the Swatch group, you know, except for some of the higher end stuff is going to be like mass-produced.
Mm-hmm.
But then you start talking about some of these higher end watches, like I said, Rolex, or these are ones that come to mind. Rolex, Audemars Patek, some of the watches from Harry Winston.
What about those Richard Mille?
Piaget, yeah, Richard Mille and Piaget is an example of these.
What about the Rebellion? I always kind of had a thing for those Rebellion watches.
I'm not too familiar with that. Sound like a smaller brand.
It's Swiss.
Swiss. I mean, but it's
a smaller brand, but it's Swiss. Yeah. Rebellion.
What kind of watches do they make?
Kind of like we're kind of like in that sort of Blancpain sort of motorsport kind of venue
right now. Rebellion watches.
Rebellion, yeah,
Rebellion timepieces.
Yeah, Rebellion timepieces.
Let me see here. Saying this site is not secure. Let me see what the heck is going on with this.
What?
Oh, I'm seeing some images of it. Okay, I see. Oh, so these watches, they kind of look like
the Richards?
Yeah, a little bit, but they seem like they're more eclectic than.
That's why I was
kind of depart from the traditional shapes of watches.
Yeah,
The Richard Mille uses a lot of the they use the same watch shape. What's that? Frank Muller shape. What's the name of that shape that I'm talking about? The Frank Muller shape watches. You remember Frank Muller?
You're talking about
Frank Muller.
No, I know.
What's the name of that watches?
Fuck
I
yeah.
mean, the shape of his watch is the color. There's a specific shape of his watch. Let me type that in. Frank Mueller watch shape.
I saw a video where like they were
Tunnel.
What's it called?
Tunnel shape. It's called a tunnel shape. TONNEAU.
EAU?
TONNEAU. Tunnel shape.
Tunnel. Okay.
Yeah, that's the shape of the watch. So if you look at let me just pick an image real quick.
Okay. So I remember watching a video and where they all put the white gloves on and shit. They start looking at the crazy ass expensive watches.
Let me go back to this.
I know they were looking at some of those.
Here we go, Frank Mueller. Okay, so let me go to this real quick. Okay, you see it now?
Yeah, hold on.
So you see that shape where it's like a rounded
Yeah,
rectangle?
that's the one. That's it right there. Yep.
That's called a tunnel. TONNEAU shape. That's the shape of the watch.
Wait, what's it called again?
Let me type it in the back chat. TONNEAU. There we go.
TONNA.
You see, it's in the back chat.
I got it right here. Let me just get it. Because I keep I was like tunnel. Tunno.
Yeah, TONN.
All right, Tunno.
Yeah, so that specific watch shape is what you see a lot of the Richard Milles, their shape. They have that.
Yeah. And the
right?
rebellions too. They all have that. Okay, so that's called Tunno. Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I just learned something new, y'all.
Yeah, you don't see Rolex used to make a couple watches like that. Omega used to make a couple watches like that, but they kind of veered away from those shapes and they've gone more towards the traditional round, because the round shapes they tend to sell. I
don't know. They just feel more. The round shape feels more natural on the wrist. I mean,
yeah, Wife School got it. No, Torno is a brand.
Torno.
Wife School Torno is a brand.
Torno.
TONNEAU is the shape. So Tunnel and Torno are two different things.
Okay.
Torno is like a brand name. They used to sell watches, but I think they got absorbed by either Watches of Switzerland brought them out, or what's the company that Rolex bought out? That big brand that Rolex bought out. Rolex. Let me look at a Rolex buyout.
Who the hell did they buy out?
They bought out damn, what's the name of that company?
Rolex. What?
Yeah, they bought out a company that distributes watches. It's a big company
that distributes watches.
Yeah, let me see. Largest authorized.
And after this trip, we're gonna have to shut it down because my daughter, she's on my head right now. Yeah, I'm blaming you. Yeah, I am blaming you. No, I'm joking.
What's the name of that watch dealer? Dang, I can't think of the name of it. Dang it.
Wait, a watch dealer?
Bucherer.
Okay, these are names I don't. I'm okay.
Bucherer. Yeah, so Bucherer bought out Torno. So you have Bucherer. It's Carl Bucherer. So Carl Bucherer is actually a watchmaker, but they're also an authorized watch dealer, or authorized watch dealer for Rolex. So they're authorized retailer for Rolex, right? They were the largest in the world.
And so Rolex bought them out.
Rolex bought Bucherer.
Okay,
which
so
caused quite a stir because Bucherer's
the retail chain.
They bought the entire retail chain. But now here's the thing. Bucherer makes watches. So Carl F. Bucherer is an actual watch brand, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so the problem, the point of contention is that Rolex bought out the distributor, who also is an authorized retailer for Omega watches, which is Rolex's primary competitor.
That's Japanese, right?
No, Omega is Swiss. Is Rolex's primary competitor is Omega watch.
Seiko. I'm sorry, Seiko's Japanese.
Yeah, Omega is Rolex's primary competitor,
Right.
and so Carlos Bucherer is an authorized retailer for Omega, but now Rolex owns Carl Bucherer.
Ooh, that's dirty business. They
Yeah,
bought
like
the
the
plug.
wife, they bought the plug.
They bought the plug. That's
No,
dirty.
let put it like this: Rolex is the plug, but Bucherer is the middleman, and so
Isn't a
they
plug
both
a
use the
middleman?
same. They both use the same middleman.
Well, so wait, isn't a plug a middleman, or did one
No,
one
now
have?
Omega has Omega boutiques, just like Rolex has individual Rolex boutiques. Omega had has individual Omega boutiques, but then you have these stores that carry several different brands as authorized retailers, like Bucherer. You can go to Bucherer, you can get Omega, you can get Tag, you can get
Damn,
Tudor,
you get all
you can
that
get Rolex. Huh?
So you get all you get tags there too.
You get all like they have all kind of brands at Bucherer,
Okay.
including the Bucherer brand watches as well. And so a lot of people will go to these places like that to find watch because maybe it's somebody who doesn't know what kind of watch they want. They want a nice watch, but they're kind of open. You have all these different watches there. But now imagine if I'm Rolex and I buy Bucherer. Bucherer sells Omega watches, but because I own Bucherer now, I'm going to make a specific section in Bucherer that's Rolex only, which is going to elevate Rolex in brand cachet because of the optics. It's almost like going to, let's say for instance, I go to a Chevrolet / Buick dealer, or a Chevrolet / what's another brand? Chevrolet / Pontiac dealer, right? Back in the day, you used to have Pontiac, right?
Yeah.
I go to the Chevrolet / Pontiac dealer, right?
You know they're gonna bring Pontiac back, by the way. I don't know if you know that.
Yeah, I'm sure they will. It doesn't surprise me because Pontiac has some pretty nice models with the GTO. Even the Grand Prix, for what it was a pretty decent car. But you have those two manufacturers at the same property. But let's just say that GM. Let's just say, for instance, that GM made cars, right? Let's do better. GMC, and you have a dealership, like say, for instance, you have CarMax, right? Mm-hmm. And CarMax may start selling like newer vehicles. But now because GM owns CarMax, they make a special section just for GM brand cars. And so it makes the GM cars look like they're better than the other cars that CarMax sells.
Right.
And so it's going to create the optics and people are going to gravitate more towards GM cars. It's going to actually elevate the brand globally. It's going to change consumer opinion about the vehicle. It puts Omega at a distinct disadvantage by having their watches sold at Bucherer, but the actual Bucherer brand being owned by Rolex. It's a very distinct advantage.
You know, it'd be like add like injury to insult.
What's that?
If they put the Omega watches like on discount, like on the discount rack, that'd be fucked up.
No, well, here's the thing. Omega watches are already sold at discount. So like if you go to a dealership that sells Omega watches, or even an authorized, like a standalone Omega boutique, right? You can go in and negotiate prices on the Omega watches.
No, I'm talking about like literally, dude, they're over in a section where there's like discount tabs on everything.
Well, no,
I'd be like,
this is the fear that essentially they fear that Omega will be put like almost like you go to the grocery store, right? If you go in the grocery store, the things that are at eye level generally pay more to be placed at that eye level.
Right.
Like products, right? You have products that are super low, which are generally the cheapest, and then you have products that are higher, like really high above eye level. Those ones are generally cheaper than the eye level products, but more expensive than the objects you got to bend down to see, right? Mm-hmm. And so the Omega watch, well, I mean, they have their own different different buyers, but you have people who there are people who cross shop Omegas and Rolexes. So there is significant overlap in the buyer demographic of Rolex and Omega, because they have watches that have similar price points. Like, for instance, you have the Omega, they have chronograph versions that kind of compete with Rolex chronographs, and then you have what is it called? I can't remember what the name of the actual brands are, or the name of the actual models are, but there's specific models that you look and you will see a lot of similarities between Rolex and Omega as far as the presentation, the price points, and then the actual demographic is going to buy those watches are the same. There's a significant overlap, and so Omega is competing for a lot of, because as it stands now, because I'm on a list for Rolex right now, you have to be put on a waiting list.
Damn. You
can't just go in and buy a Rolex. You go to a Rolex, unless you're going to Dubai. Most stateside Rolex dealerships don't have Rolexes in stock. All they have is display models, right?
I don't know, dude. I'm believing these rappers, dude. They just walk up in there with a stack, dude, and they just be like, "Rolly."
No, but here's the thing: are they actually going to an authorized Rolex retailer buying a brand new watch, or are they buying because you could buy pre-owned watches anywhere?
They Rolexes, dude. Come on, man.
No, they could be legitimate Rolexes, but the problem is that they're buying them pre-owned, so it's distinctly different. Like I can go to a place and get a pre-owned Rolex, but I want a brand new Rolex that nobody else has had. I want box, I want papers, I want
the new Rolex smell.
I want a brand new. Once I could buy another used Rolex, at a different time, but I want a brand new Rolex that nobody else has had. And I want it from the dealership. There's no question about the authenticity of the watch. I know where I got it from. I know what I paid for it. And I know who's worn it. Just me.
Bro, it's like buying a brand new Porsche 911 GT3R. Okay? It's just that, like I said, that new fill in the blank feeling.
Well, and then just like buying a Porsche. Like, for instance, if you buy a Porsche, you can keep a Porsche for 30 years, no problem.
Yeah,
Porsches are iconic in design. They're probably one of the most reliable cars of its tier, of its cachet that you can buy. At its price point and the status of that particular car or Porsches, you're not going to find a more reliable vehicle, right? Now you can find more reliable Toyotas, but Toyotas is at an entirely different echelon, right? But for what it is, Porsches are very reliable for what they are, and they, the design themselves, 30 years from now they'll still look good. No, so that's something that you buy new.
Yeah. They're race proven, right? And that's kind of like, if you were to ask me as a car aficionado, for me, things have to be sort of like proven on track in order for me to go, yeah, that's the shit right there, right? Because it kicked some ass, here in North America, over here in Europe, here, there, right, against different competition. So that's what tells me, yeah, this is a legit piece of kit. But hey, let's get final thoughts in, man. I'm gonna shut it down. And we're gonna call it when we'll be back. Well, I was gonna say tomorrow, but later on today.
Yeah, man, this Black Brain Trust. You know what time it is?
You already know, bruh. Man,
there's only one Black Brain Trust, right? It is what it is.
To my knowledge, there's only. Well, I mean, on YouTube, yeah. To my knowledge, only one. Steph, you say you get the Rolex treatment, champagne, and the white gloves.
Yeah.
Yeah, I need the white glove. If anything, just the white. Give me the white gloves.
Well, I mean, because look how much you're paying for the watch. I mean, you basically buying a car for your wrist, so you better get all the bells and whistles. Exactly, all the fanfare.
Bells, whistles, and champagne.
Yes.
All right. So check this out. I'm gonna get with Triz sometime tomorrow. You gonna be free, bro? So we can go ahead and just plan out. We'll schedule.
Yeah, hit me up. And matter of fact, like I said, I'm gonna be out there. I'm gonna be in California between the 29th and the 30th. I got to go to my aunt's funeral on the.
Oh shit!
I'll be out there on the 28th. I'll be out there on the 28th.
Dude. Hey man, my condolences, fam. Real shit.
Yeah, between the 28th and the 30th. I'm gonna be out there. So I'm gonna be in I'm gonna be in IE.
You gonna be in the IE?
I'm
Okay.
gonna be in IE. You know what I'm saying? So we have to holler at you.
All right, man. Yeah, well, shit. I'm gonna get at you tomorrow because if you're gonna be down here, man, I'll try to
Yeah,
tap in with you for sure.
tap
Shit,
in
my
with.
aunt down right where you gonna be at.
Huh?
I said my aunt is right down where you gonna be at.
Yeah. I'm flying in the Ontario airport because my sister is living in Rancho. So
Yeah, she over in Fontana, bro.
yeah,
That's what I'm saying. Right over where you gonna be at. Okay,
yeah,
that's what's up.
for sure.
Okay, man. Hey, well, I'll tap in with you tomorrow. We'll get that horology live stream scheduled. Get it
All right,
planned
man,
out.
I'll let you.
All right, man.
All right, one.
All right, all right, y'all. Thank you for joining us. I didn't realize we were gonna go this long, but this was a dope ass live stream. Maybe perhaps all where the conversation went, cars, watches, technology involved in all this kind of stuff, creativity. You guys can find the common thread between all this shit. So with that being said, yeah, like, share, and if you haven't sub, all that good stuff, and we'll be back a little bit later on in the day or tomorrow, however you guys look at it. All right, peace.